Yeah. 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 Yo, yo, yo. Yo, yo, yo. Yo, yo. Yo. As if y'all can hear the music. Yeah. Yo. All right. Where's she at? All right. Let me lock in real quick. Woo. Man, I just got home, just got off the flight. I'm literally like 30 minutes off the flight right now. All right, y'all can hear. We good. Gotta make sure I get the chat going. Bro, I swung those Microsoft. Mind you, let me turn this down. I swung the Microsoft, right? I fucking let me log in. Make sure we good. All right, yeah. So I swung Microsoft. Man, bro, I'm on the flight. Mind you, my flight leaves Miami at 9:18. I'm like, bro, I'm like 10 minutes before the takeoff. Mind you, normally, Wi-Fi, like plane Wi-Fi, it'd be okay, but it's not the best to trade on. So I get on the plane, they're like, hey, Wi-Fi's out, no Wi-Fi on this flight. I'm like, I'm terrified. So I text my girl, I'm like, look, monitor these levels for me. Mind you, she don't really know much about trading. She know what I teach her, but she's like, what am I looking for? I'm like, all right, watch Microsoft, watch NVIDIA, and watch Amazon. She's like, all right. Bro, I land, mind you, the whole flight, I'm kicking it. I'm talking to this guy next to me. Shit, I'm kicking it, what the bam. I land, bro. I'm like, first things first, I'm automatically turning my shit back on, connect to the internet. Connect, bro. I opened up 250% Microsoft. Oh man, that was such a good play. Mind you, we've been waiting for this shit, man. Look, look, look. How long have we been waiting for this? Before I change it, look at the drunk, bro. How long have we been waiting for this? Look at this. Bang. So yeah, I sold most. Like I said, I still got some runners. But I'm thinking about selling those runners and just moving out. Because remember, we still got this gap all the way up here. So, and mind you, Microsoft has been the lagger lately. So basically what I'm thinking about right now, as far as longer term, waiting for this to, come down, waiting for it to come down, test this level real quick, test this level real quick, and then we'll go long more on on Microsoft. Just because, like I said, it's just been lagging, Mag 7. I know all these other stocks have been going crazy. For example, man, I wanted to take this at open, but like I said, I was on the plane, so I couldn't. I knew it was gonna be a good one. Like I said, I already had these levels, so I'm like, damn, if we can hold this level, because I seen it gap up. Oh man, so I can't chase this, man. Y'all know how I feel about chasing shit. Can't chase it. If we do get an entry, like I said, even for all the crazy stocks, damn, look, shit's already breaking out. If we do manage to get something like this, maybe I'll think about swinging something just because, like I said, it's not at all time. IBM's not at all time highs, so it's not like, oh, I'm at all time highs. But look at this weekly, bro. Goodness gracious, what's that? 300 almost. Oh man, I don't even want to look at the contracts that I did have for that. Tessie, let's look at Tessie real quick. Let's see if this shit played out because I know this one was on some bullshit. Ah, it's still in that handle, so that's good. That's good though. Let me check. Give me like 5 seconds real quick. Let me check my shit real quick. Tesla. Where we at right now? 438. Let me see something. Where's 4? Yeah, I like I said, I still like Tesla as far as like Fridays. Y'all know I hate Tesla in general, but Fridays, shit, you can't complain because Tesla be going stupid. We kind of have the same move as Amazon as yesterday, right? Everything got that crazy dip it open and then it magically recovered. So we're still in that, like I said, we're still in that cup and handle. We closed the gap, right? And we know when it comes to gap for reversals, we usually like to reject first. So we did do that. Let me see. I'm gonna look at the contracts real quick for Tessie because mind you, today is the end of the month, right? It's the last candle of the month. So normally, not every time, but normally we do have a pretty nice fun move towards the end of the day. So that's why I'm kind of hyped to see how this plays out. But let me check the contracts real quick for Tessie. Yeah, I caught a little 25-30% on the video in my Uber ride on the way home. This one was actually pretty fun. I just needed to cross that 270. Yeah, right here. Yeah, we caught this little move. A nice little 30% right up here to this target. But now that we hit it, yes, I'm like, we hit the target. You know how to go. You hit the target, you got to get out. That's just how the rules go. But Nvidia, if Nvidia starts coming down, SPY might start coming down too. Remember, we talked about how SPY's getting up there when it comes to trend lines and stuff like that. But let's focus on one at a time. So Tessie. And like I said, y'all know the vibes, man. Drop tickers in here. Drop, you know what I'm saying? Whatever y'all need, drop that shit in here. What's the trend line indicator you use called? Oh, that's not an indicator. That's just what we make. We made that ourselves. Um, yeah, this just a channel. It's just a parallel channel. But this is why this was our target, right? Remember I said well, if you're not, if you weren't in there. But if I said, hey, remember, whenever we have these huge channels, you have to take it level to level, right? We held this lower level, we go to the next level. We hit that level, we sell, right? So we get the level, that's it. If it does want to go, that's why I said, remember, you can always get back in. You're never truly gonna just miss the trade. You might miss a move, but you're never gonna miss the trade because you can always catch a trade. So let's go over it line by line, right? Let's start with Tessie. Let me check Tessie. Where's 442 at? 442.50. Yeah, so let's turn this off real quick. I just want to see if we have a gap. Oh yeah, we still got somewhat of a gap up here. And Tesla kind of does that weird like Fridays it be going crazy and shit like that. So what I'll do is let's clear all my alerts because we don't need those right now. Let me fix this real quick. I need y'all to be able to see this full thing. So I know YouTube be kind of weird when it comes to. All right, let me make this bigger for y'all so we can see it. Looking at you now, see, and get rid of nothing. Who sold the buttons? Yeah. So if we can clear this, right? Mind you, this is just a 0 DTE day trade. This is not a position. This is nothing crazy. But we're watching just this for a little day trade. If we can clear this 30-minute wick, then we'll probably come up here and fill this gap right at 442. So I'm watching this. That's an alert. AAOI. Somebody asked me about this. Shit. Like damn, you got a little head and shoulders going on. Yeah, you got a little head and shoulders going on. If you're in shorts, this might be good for you. But long in this, I'm not really necessarily sure about that. Let me see. Apple. APPL. Oh wait, AAPL. I'm like, hold on now. Definitely fucking on it. So I'm definitely watching SPY to the downside though, just because everything is so overextended. Mind you, like I said, end of month close. It's rare that we'll probably close at the absolute highs on the month, you know. Yeah, see that shit already swept that high as well. Oh yeah, see, Apple's starting to come down now. That's the one that Trump be talking about now. See, this is one of the ones where it's like, if Trump's in it, that shit just gonna be, that shit might just keep going and going and going. We got a gap up here towards 130. So this is one of those ones you might as well just keep swinging that. If you're already in this, you might as well keep swinging that. Circle. Breakout retest, right? You clear this right here, you might be able to go. So Circle might be one of those ones, kind of like Microsoft, how we swung that, you know, buy some time out. You might be able to swing this one on Circle. Just clocking in. What did I miss? Not much. Not close. Yeah, so I'm saying, see, that's how it should be. You know, you take your money, you take your profit, and then you roll out, right? You roll if you want to stay in the play. Like for example, Microsoft. We smacked Microsoft for what? Bands fucking what 200% or something more yesterday. I think Clutch held that shit for way more than 200%, but I had to auto sell at 200% because, like I said, I was on vacation, so it's like I don't want to be, you know, monitoring every single second. So I auto sold at 200%. I already had that shit set. But yeah, Microsoft went crazy yesterday. But what did I do? Because I figured, you know, if levels hit, we'll roll out. So I just rolled out into 2 weeks or next week or 2 weeks out, forget. But then that's when I got off the plane. That shit was already up crazy. But let's go to our baby. Yeah. This is what I want to see, low key. I low key want this to come down. I need you. Yeah, but the only thing about SPY right now, like I said, it's range bound. So remember, we don't diddle in the middle. So there's not really much going on right now for this. It's just kind of in that middle stages. But I do want it to dump towards end of day. It'll be a little easier. You see. The video coming down. Yeah, low key, everything's kind of range bound right now. Everything's kind of in that sideways range. But this does look good, right? We're back. If we stay below, remember, mark your levels. Pre-market high, pre-market low, previous day's close, previous day's high. So we got previous day's close, previous day's high. And we're kind of, like I said, we're still kind of still in that range. But we are getting some sort of we got the breakout, right? We're kind of holding for now. So if we do continue to hold this level, then they're going to squeeze it into close, right? But if not, we break it, we're going to retest. We'll probably dump into close. But we still got time. It's only 12:30. Let's see. Yeah, this one looks good for a swing. Yeah, Tesla don't look too bad. Remember, we're still in that handle too, so it'd be a nicer lotto rather than having to like. Remember, like I said, I only really like trading Tesla on the Fridays, man. It'd be doing too much for me. 442.5 is where the gap is. Those contracts are only $40. We can try a starter, right? I'm gonna try a starter on Tesla, and then, like I said, if we continue to push back above, because remember, we don't really care about the wicks, right? The wicks, we only care about open and close. So as of now, we are in this little range right here. So if we start to push out this range and we close outside of this range, then by technical definition, then we should continue to push. So I'll hold this here. I still got this wick just to give us that confirmation. But I can start a starter position and feel okay about it. Everything's 0 DTE today. It's monthly close, daily close. I'm not really tripping. Video. Amazon kind of irritated me. That was the one that I'm kind of like, damn, okay. Right. We wanted this shit to gap up. We sold, I mean, we hit yesterday like what, 50%? Because we got stopped out, profit stopped yesterday. Because remember, we bought on Wednesday, we bought, right? We swung them and then we got stopped out earlier in the day. And then we just ended up getting back in for another 50%. But yeah, my runners definitely ended up getting going red. So I'm like, boring, right? You know, we need that screenshot. We care about that screenshot. But yeah, Tesla. Yeah, we definitely watch this. Keep an eye on Tesla for sure. Y'all know how Fridays do. Yeah, SPY is starting to come down. So y'all said it'll probably come down here. Check Reddit. Starter on Tesla. Yeah. I did a little starter on Tesla. But remember, these are zero DTs, so we don't gotta go heavy. Remember, because it's like if it goes, a very small amount will pay us good, right? So you don't gotta go crazy. And like I said, this isn't I'm not swinging this position. I'm not. This is a zero DT lotto position. So it's like I'm looking for a clearance of this, and then continue back up, breakout, test consolidation, and then probably get that second leg. So yeah, I'm not going crazy on Tesla, but what's TP on Tesla? Yeah, like I said, if we can clear this, then hopefully we come take out high a day. Open right here. We open right, or no, we open right. Open right here at 440. So if we can get to 440, the zero DTs are gonna be easily 30%. You know what I'm saying? Easy 20-30%. So a little push is gonna move a lot. So you don't need to go crazy when it comes to zero DT. You know what I'm saying? So you can just I'm a full port Tesla. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Watch, the day you full port is gonna be the day that shit just goes like this. You're gonna be like, oh my god, he gave us a bad play. Like, hell no, don't put that on me. Remember, because you would rather have a starter position and then size into your winners once you know you're correct, right? Because if you don't know if you're correct yet, and you're just, let's say it starts going down, you wouldn't want to keep adding to that, right? You would just start with the smaller position. So that way, if it's going red, you're like, okay, cool, I'm not really tripping on it. But if it starts going correct and it holds, break retest, then you can add, right? And you can add into your winners because now that you know you're on the right side, you'll make more money, right? But the only thing, like I said, is the SPY. So if Mag 7 does start coming down, remember, this is pre-market high. So if we do start losing pre-market high, we will probably come back into the bottom of this range. You on zero DT at Tesla call? Yeah. I had a starter position on zero DT Tesla call. Remember, we got to break this first before I'm like, all right, okay, I feel a lot better for it. Tesla only never full port. Yeah, nah, Tesla. Y'all know how Tesla do. Tesla do not play nice. Nvidia coming down. SPY should be coming down as well. Front runner on SPY put, by the way. Yeah. I do think that because we're just teetering at all-time highs, I do think the monthly close kind of comes back in. Not to say that we get some crazy dump, but I do think if you bought like at the money, puts like at the very top, 747 or some shit, I think you'll be. It sees 30% up and holding. Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. Let's check SPY actually. Yeah, see, it's already starting to come back into this. But remember, you want to see candle closures, right? Just because you get a move, it's not confirmed until the candle closes. And that's what allows us to be patient with it, right? We're not going crazy. Even with this. Yeah. See, start position. We're up 15%. Mind you, we're up 15%, and this shit went from here to here, right? So once we get confirmation, that's what I'm saying. You can add a smaller amount without having to worry about huge risk, Yeah, but I do think SPY is gonna come down, but I can't watch everything all at once. I'm so pissed about this shit, man. I don't even know why I'm looking at it, bro. I'm so pissed about this. I'm so pissed about this. Mind you, I found this yesterday. Because I'm like, okay, well, what else is Trump in? What do you got going on? So I'm looking, and it was like, oh, IBM. So I'm like, oh, bet tomorrow I'm getting IBM. Tell me why I see the gap up. I'm like, oh man. So by the time I get on the plane, it's like right here. I'm like, oh, bro, this is about to go crazy. And then, like I said, no Wi-Fi on the plane. I'm cooked. I land. It's already had 400% move. I'm fucking stomach hurting. But yeah, main watch right now is just SPY to the downside. It's always easy to trade SPY. Damn, see, that shit's already dumping. Yeah, we got a minute left. We'll wait for that close. Baby, can you help me? Baby, can you help me? 30% up and holding. Oh, yeah, see, bro, already in there. Is the starter working? Yeah, we already got 15% in the starter. But like I said, the thing with starters is like I'm not gonna take really profit on a starter because it's not a full position, so it's not like it really, you know what I'm saying? Starters are more so for like you get the first level of confirmation, right? The first level of confirmation is just the fact that we're holding this support zone, right? But you still need multiple reasons for why you get into a trade. So it can't just be like, oh, we held support, I gotta get in. No, you gotta hold support. Remember, breakout, retest. You need to close over the breakout and then target where we broke out at, right? So remember, you need multi-step, kind of like double, you know how you go log into something, it's like, hey, we need your password, your phone, you know what I'm saying? You need multi-factor authentication and shit like that. It's kind of like what this is with trading. Can you judge me? You take Tesla C's or P's. Yeah, we had a starter position in Tesla calls. Zero DTs. Because remember, like I said, I don't like Tesla. I don't like swinging Tesla. It's not my favorite. Damn, but yeah, those spy puts, my boy Manny in spy puts, yeah, those should be pretty good. But remember, take profit at your levels, right? We come down here, take profit. You leave runners just in case you want to come all the way down, right? But you do take profit at your levels, just in case, right? Just in case this is the bottom and it just pop that shit. You know what I'm saying? Or if you're in zeros, right? Let's say you took puts here, it's a good candle, take that 30% whatever, because like I said, it can go lower. Of course, we don't know, but you don't want to put that risk on yourself, right? You want to take your profit, leave runners, let that runners make that money for you, or just roll, right? Let's say, boom, you took zero DT puts right here, you up 30%, 40%, whatever. Take that 40%, secure that profit, and then just buy like Monday puts, right? If you truly believe, hey, we're gonna just slam and come down, buy Monday puts, right? Or it's Friday. Yeah, so buy Monday puts. So that way, if we do go up a little bit, you don't have to stress about being like, oh fuck, I'm down X amount of percent. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I always tell y'all whenever I get into trades on SPY, I'll do zeros and ones or twos because the zeros obviously will move fast as fuck. Zeros would be like, let's say we bought calls here. Boom. Zeros would be up crazy. But if I still want to be in the play without risking that much money, then I can just take that zero DT profit and just leave the ones. Kind of like how we swung yesterday, right? Yesterday I called out the calls right around here. Right. Because remember in the YouTube video, I said, hey, the main level we're gonna be watching for is previous day's close. Because we closed here Monday. I mean not Monday, Monday is. We closed here Tuesday and we closed here on Wednesday. So this is letting us know, hey, this is a really strong level for us. So we can get above, then we'll be straight. Right. We had the breakout retest. This is the first entry down here. And then boom, we got that close. We got that second entry. And then thankfully we got that fucking Trump pump. That shit sent us 500%. So that shit was smooth. But you know what I'm saying? This is why I always say like news is just a catalyst. You know what I'm saying? The news he thankfully was on our side, but look at where coincidentally the good news happened. It happened at support. You know what I'm saying? Or bad news will magically happen at resistance. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, no, we're like I said, we're not full position to this Tesla. Did you take the Tesla CZP? Oh no, same one. Yeah, no, we're just waiting for this. We're waiting for that alert to hit. Remember, patience pays. Remember, patience pays. So the better you wait, the more time you'll get to see it play out. Because if you just be jumping into shit just because the first candle looks good, you're gonna cook yourself every time. First day out, bitch, fuck the feds. I just got out the bump, man. 3 million cash. All right, so I'm into the candle throws. So 30-minute candle close underneath here, step 1, right? Retest, step 2. Step 3, dump, right? Upside is a candle close wherever it closes. Step 2 would be a reclaim of this level, which is pre-market high, basically. So if this candle closes below and the next candle reclaims pre-market high, then that tells you everything you need to know. Hey, baby. I just got home. What's wrong, baby? Oh, mama, what happened? Oh, no. You want calls or puts? Okay. Calls or puts, baby? Spy puts? You don't want no calls? Oh, okay. I'm stuck in a cage. Throw me crazy. Damn, I ain't gonna lie. I really wanted the video to run today so we can leave runners, but that shit hit the target and instantly sold off. We only got a little 25% out of this shit. You cannot snake a snake. Yeah, let me get this bullshit off my screen. Shit pisses me off. Fuck that shit, man. What's another ticker? What's like? Give me like a Mag 7 or something like something normal. Because all the stocks that be pushing 30-40%, like if you're not in, I'm not getting in. Even if it wants to keep pushing, I'm not getting into those kind of stocks. IBM does look good because it's not up too crazy. It's not at all-time highs. But the other ones that just are fucking flying and flying, I'm not touching that. That means stuck with me. Oh, Reddit. Okay, Reddit. I'll tell you what though, even though even though Amazon didn't necessarily continue today, I do think if we still hold these levels, oh my god, because remember, daily levels obviously going to take a lot more time because we got the daily breakout retest, right? If we do hold this level, I wouldn't mind swinging some damn Amazon. I wouldn't mind that. Reddit every 7. Damn, y'all be giving me all the stocks after the pop. Why y'all didn't tell me before? We could have caught this shit. Hey man, you say man. Damn, man. Yeah. This is gorgeous too. Oh man, look at that. Damn, bro. I hate when I miss plays like this. You got the beautiful bull flag consolidation. Remember, once it breaks out, retest. That's your best bet. You target the highs, all right? You just keep targeting the highs. Damn, yeah. If I was in Reddit though, I would keep holding it. Like, because I would have bought time on Reddit. So if you're in Reddit, obviously I would suggest trimming, of course, but watch for those 180 levels, 190, you know what I'm saying, 195. Like, yeah, this is one of those ones where I would just trim, maybe roll out some more, you know what I'm saying? Look left, make sure y'all are, paying attention. Yes, yes. More likely a bastard. Crooked letter. David Bam. Watching inside there on camera. I don't paper with a fully ARP sitting on the camera. Yeah, see, it's kind of like the same one. Oh, only thing for this, for UPS, we do have a gap fill right here. So if we hit this, right, remember, once we fill the gap, whatever the gap did, watch for that initial reaction, right? So if we have a gap down, then once we fill the gap, watch for an initial pullback. Not to say a fucking reversal or, nothing crazy, but just watch for profit taking, right, for the gap flows. And then once you get back above, or it'll just push over the gap, right? So either most times we get the gap for reversal. So most times we do hit a gap, we do pull back first, or vice versa. Let's say we have a gap up and then we fill that gap. Usually the first move will be back up, right? So if it's a gap down, watch for initial reactions to come down. If it's a gap up, watch for initial reactions to come up. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, definitely take some profit if you're in this. But I wouldn't get in this for here. That's just it's not a good risk reward. You know what I'm saying? Can I go? Even my striker's bulletproof. Still allowed to call me mystical. First day out, damn fool. Yeah, I haven't traded Baba since since the fallen wedge. Yeah, this is the last time I traded Baba. We got paid off this shit. We waited for this fallen wedge. It took a while. This shit trapped us. We had to fucking stop out, wait again. Next week it came back up. We got back in and then we finally got paid. But it's one of them ones. And this one's also dependent on whether, Trump makes those deals with China and shit like that. Unless it's unleaded. Let me see. Can you look at Bob? I got some cons for 6 to 18. What you in calls or puts? For Bob. You said 6 to 18. What is this? May? June? So June 18. That shit kicked in like a two-time world champ. She vaping them out. That shit look like a cool man. Okay, cool. This shit popping. You know what it just turned out. You do got a little falling wedge though. Falling wedge right back into the same levels. Okay, I'm gonna out of it. Yeah, you got a nice little falling wedge into the support too. The old levels. I don't need that shit no more. Oh, you got calls. Um, Yeah, you might, like I said, you might have to give this some time because you got time. What what strike you got? What strike you got? Because if you're super far away from your strike, remember you can always get out, wait for confirmation, and get back in. But if you have a closer strike, then you might be straight. Hey Manny, you still in them spy puts? I should have took them with you. I think spy still might be going down. Ah, yeah. See, it's still at that level. But yeah, make sure you're taking profit on that. 155 and 160. Woo, I ain't gonna lie, 2020. You're gonna need a miracle, my brother. Yeah, because the 18th is right here. Yeah, but I mean, like I said, if you let's say if you just got in, or if you just got in like maybe like 2 days ago, then you're not really down too bad. But if over the weekend, whatever, Trump out the bam. So if, like I said, if you already got in, then you might as well be able to hold this a little bit just to see, if you get a breakdown, retest, and flush lower, or if this is just a sweep of that previous support. 'Cause remember, it bounced here, right? So this is support as far as we know. So the only way we would be opposite is if it rejected and then continued lower, right? So our lower levels back down here. So yeah, you might be able to give this one a little bit more time if you just got in. But if you've been in and you're just like down, like, yeah, it's always best to just sell and wait for confirmation, because let's say you get out, you're down 30%, you get out and it pops. Yeah, you'll kind of be like, damn, I should have held, but you'll get better confirmation, better entry, and you'll be able to get a better strike, right? Then you can just get in again here. Because if you hold and hope, you know, it's like lighting your money on fire. You never know if this shit just might keep dumping and dumping and dumping. I should have got those spot puts. I know the video going down. Damn, yeah. Ah, ah. Yeah, that hurts. Like I said, man, I just got home. I haven't. My bag is right here on the counter. Just walked in the crib, so I couldn't catch this. But this was a very nice move. Right back to that same. Remember what I said? On Fridays we do the same shit, right? We'll have an opening range for that first hour. We'll sweep the bottom, sweep the top, and then always come back down. Well, not always, but once you see the pattern, you'll start to recognize, like, wait a second, we did this before, right? Go look at the previous. What day was that? Tuesday, right? We did the same thing. Swept the lower, swept the higher, came back down, right? Whenever we have those choppy days, remember I said if it's not breaking out or breaking down, then you'll probably get a range day, right? Friday, we did the same shit. Swept the low, swept the high, came down. Previous Friday, we did the same shit, right? Look, swept the low, swept the high, came down. So whenever you start to recognize it's not a breakout retest continuation, it's probably going to be a sweep the high, sweep the, what I'm saying? It's probably just going to keep sweeping either side. Damn, I should have took them spot puts. I know Manny getting paid right now. I know Manny's getting paid right now. There we go. That's good though. If you did take the puts on this crack, then you should be straight. Yeah. Yeah, you should be straight for sure. Are you out of Tesla? I mean, I only took a starter, so I mean, I'm not. It's zero DTs and bitches are $40. I'm not. I don't really worry about that shit. But yeah, see how we're at this level. We're starting to get a little. So trim here. Remember, trim at your levels. Trim, 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 trim. Because remember, zoom out. Remember, we are bullish in a bull market. So even though it's the last day of the month, yes, they might slice it down. You would rather trim here and, like I said, roll out. Because even here, if you trimmed here and rolled out, you still would be up. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, Tesla ain't doing shit. It's still bullshitting. Damn, yeah. NVIDIA was a perfect scalp though. We came, sold at our levels, and that shit's coming down. And NVIDIA is one of those heavyweight stocks in the S&P. So, Bob, but what else? Maybe bear trap instead of if you miss the puts. Yeah, no, but that's the thing. Like I said, if you never truly miss a play, right? You never truly miss a play. If you got in up here, then congratulations. But if this is truly bearish, remember it'll break down. You'll get the retest of this level or you get a retest of this level, right? And you'll just continue to flush down. So there's always going to be entries. It's almost one. So power hour. Hopefully we come down and take out that. Oh no, we already closed the gap. Yeah. See, like this is what I mean by like take that zero. You know what I'm saying? Take the zeros. If you get in the money, you know what I'm saying? If you take that money, just relax, take the money. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, we are still super bullish. And that's what runners are for. If you're gonna hold the position, then runners will pay you, right? Because think about it. If let's say you're in zero DTs and you're like, I'm just gonna hold till low a day. We probably hit low a day. I'm not gonna lie. True, probably hit low a day. But because nothing is certain in the stock market, you don't want to be that person that's like, I'm gonna hold forever, you know, and then God forbid something goes wrong and then you get cooked. But this does, like I said, this do look good. And I should have took him with you. But damn, that yeah, Tesla coming down. So yeah, see, that's why you never full size first. Starter position, right? Whatever your starter is. Usually I do like 1/4. So let's say I put a band into play. I might put a little 200 in just to see how it goes. It don't work. It's not really, nothing crazy. You just stop out. If your full size is one contract, then I would definitely tell you to wait a little more. But if you are in the, larger space where you can buy, 10, 20, whatever your contract size is, start small, see how the contracts move because you can get moves like this, right? You can definitely get moves like this. What day was that? Right over here. And I know some of my students are in here. I know the guys are in here. We caught this one live. So remember I was like, hey, we cracked this level, right? We'll do a starter position, and then if we break above, close above, then we'll just full size in, and that's what we did. It started pushing, right? We were up like 20%, then that shit came down. But then as we were looking at other shit, it closed back above, and then we got in on the retest, and then that shit went 100%. So it's always better, and that way you're not stressing. Because remember, if you full size immediately, you're like heart beating fast. You're like, shit, it's got to go now. But because, what I'm saying, we don't control the market. We don't control the speed of this shit. We don't, what I'm saying, we don't know how fast or slow it's going to go. So there's no reason for you to ever just full size immediately. Remember, because it's not up to us, right? We don't control this shit. Even if you get, let's say you get a huge candle like this, right? This shit could chop here for the rest of the day, right? We don't know the future. So it's always best to start small, get confirmation, then add in. And then once you get the move, you can start selling into support, right? Or whatever your next move is. Oh, Meta, my phone. I thought that Microsoft. This shit was so gorgeous. I ain't even gonna lie. This shit was beautiful. Actually, hold on. Let me see if I can get a roll for Meta. Let me see. I think there's a gap up here. Oh yeah, the gap is all the way up here though. Jesus Christ. Because remember we looked at this and we said, hey, this is bear trap territory. Look at that. Year-long trends, right? Year-long channels. We finally broke above. So for this next 4-hour channel, let that shit pull back, right? If you missed the move, if you didn't swing, or if you just didn't catch the move, it's fine, right? Just like Meta, everything will get a pullback. And we talked about this in the video. Damn. Fuck happened to Meta? Never told me about it. Nowadays, when we catching up, we just laugh about it. Can't describe what my life is like when she has somebody. Probably like, yeah, see, look, that's what I'm saying. We missed this move, even though in the YouTube video we went over, right? We went over this diamond bottom. We said, hey, we got a diamond bottom. If this breaks, we'll get in. They didn't they didn't give us the luxury of getting in, unfortunately. But I said, hey, wait for that pullback, right? If it happens, then we'll just get in on the pullback. So Meta, let me see. People don't want the best for me. It's just the best for me. They check for me. Right? Meta would be more so of a learn. Like Meta isn't something. I mean, obviously you can't, whatever you want. You're grown. But if you want to go zeros, you can. But the Meta is something that I would get more so long term. Let's check those contracts. Hold on, 627 right here. We got 10 minutes left. We'll let this candle close. Remember, you always want to let the candle close first. That way you don't get trapped. Because it can look good at first, but if it doesn't move, then it's kind of like, oh, waste of time. Yeah, so we'll watch this right here. We clear this wick 627. We might be able to get in for, remember, longer term. Because look, you might have you got the bullish move, remember? So your bias is bullish, right? You got the bullish moves. All you did was get a little pullback into major support, or used to be resistance, right? Look, resistance, resistance, resistance. We finally cracked above it. So if this is truly bullish, remember, like I said, we don't know. Nothing is ever 100% in the market. We're just taking the best risk to reward, right? So our risk would be, you know, this down here. You wouldn't want to lose this down here, but your reward would be, you know, upside, right? So this is why I would say you can play zero DTs, but it's just always safer to buy time, right? Because Microsoft was a perfect example. If you play those zeros, yeah, you might have made money that day or whatever, but if you swung and bought time, you would have made more. You know what I'm saying? That way you're able to catch the full move. Because if you bought zeros on Microsoft, remember Microsoft went up crazy, but then that shit came down. It erased like 40% of the move within like an hour or so. So you know what I'm saying? You want to have best risk to reward. I know we love zero DTs. We do. I love it. I love it. You love it. We all love it. But it's just a matter of you know, just being more patient with it, you know, relaxing. But yeah, take that profit on see? Perfect example. Take that profit where we are because, like I said, you don't know. If you're in zeros and you're like, oh, I'm gonna just hold and hope we go to lower day. You get a candle like this, right? And then they can keep it here, right? They can just do whatever they want. So you want to either get breakdown, retest, which is what this is as of now, right? This will be our retest as of now. So if our next candle starts to push below, then we can target that low of day, maybe all the way down here to 753, right? Because remember, it is end of month, so we will get some volatility in that last hour-ish. Made it back on SPY, my boy Manny. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm proud of you, brother. I hope you took profit though. Don't find out you didn't. XOM for puts. Why they playing this album, bro? I'm not gonna lie, I don't like the new Drake album. Make some normal music, man. Yeah, I'm not a fan. Not a fan of the Drake album. Mega back on Smile. Did we lose lower day? So though. See, and that's what I'm talking about, bro. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You know how I always in every video say trading is as simple as you make it, right? You're smart. You took that profit. Look, even if we go low of day, that's why you leave a runner. And if you can't, like let's say you only can afford one contract at a time, that's fine. So be it. Remember, you can always get back in. If you're out of buying power, remember, there's always the next day. There's always the next week, right? So you never feel the need to, oh, I gotta catch the puts, I gotta catch the calls, I gotta do this. You know what I'm saying? All three albums kind of buns. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. That shit is kind of buns. But you know how Drake albums be. Drake albums be like, it'll be buns, and then like a few months later, you'd be like, this shit kind of tough. That's how I felt about all the for all the dogs. Yeah, last time I played Exxon was over here for calls. But yeah. See where we're at, right? Remember, see where we're at. Yeah, I've been in the studio. I don't know if I'm gonna Jada Waiter or Ruby Rose. Right? Remember, just because you see a pattern, I appreciate you, brother. Of course, gang, that's what I'm here for. How much percent you make? You ain't gotta tell us the dollar amount, but how much percent you made? Drop that shit in the chat. We love celebrating dubs around here, man. But the video got a little rally. This bitch got me outside drinking wine. Yeah, remember we gotta look up. Like I said, if it wants to go, then if we get back above this, then we can get in for swings, right? But because we played zeros, we just wanted a quick little boom, 30% in and out. Yeah, I got you. I got you. 1 second. But what was I say? Oh yeah. You don't want to get caught up in shit that looks too easy, right? This shit looks too easy for Head and Shoulders. So would you short down here? Absolutely the fuck not. You would wait for it to break down, retest, and then once you start to lose that breakout zone, this is when you would start shorting down here, right? Because we've seen this play out so many times, and I've told y'all, hey, do not be trying to chase them Head and Shoulders, right? Because you get shit like this. What the hell? My other chart. There you go. Right? Remember, you get shit like this. Big body Benz, that Mercedes. Right? Look at this. Remember how easy this was? Everyone was like, head and shoulders. And then look, you get some shit like this, right? So you never want to chase those moves that is just oblivious, like, oh, this is the easiest play in the world. Because most times it's not going to be, right? Most times it's going to be a trap because that's how most retail thinks, right? Whatever most retail is doing, you don't want to be that person. If everyone is like, let's chase, you're not the one that's going to chase. You see how it's already starting to pop in this zone? Your best bet would be risk to reward, right? Your risk is what? Your risk is this whole, support zone. That's your risk. Your reward is what? Upside, right? And then what is the upside? Unlimited, right? We don't fully know what the upside is, but you know what your downside risk is. So as long as you can manage this, well, when I say manage your risk, beefing with my bitch right now, but life's still lit. But that's what I mean when I say manage your risk, right? You have to know what's your possible upside, what's your possible downside. Most people get into plays thinking like, if it goes down here, I'll make blah 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 blah. But they never stop to think, what if it goes against me, right? So you got to have a plan for both sides. So if you want to go long here, you would go long with maybe like a daily or a weekly close underneath this. So you would buy time, of course, for XLM. You would buy time, right? And even if it dips, like I said, starter position, you want to go too crazy because we're at major support. So it could, like I said, come down, sweep it, right? It can come down, break below, retest, and then, do pull one of these. So you always want to put yourself in the best position. The best position is never just full sizing immediately because you see a play. That's not how that works, right? You want to size in, get confirmation. Let's say you start a position, right? Calls. Boom. You break out, retest. You can add some more, right? You break out of this. You can trim, roll out, add some more. You know what I'm saying? And then kind of go that way rather than just full sizing, because what if it does, you know what I'm saying, go down here? Then you're kind of cooked. Let me see. What else? What else? NVIDIA got a nice little rally. Yeah, I think everything's getting a nice little retest right now, breakdown retest. But remember, if it does not reclaim, then all this is, well, you got a high, lower high. Anything underneath this would be a lower high. So you would expect it to pull back, right? If it doesn't reclaim. Open. Thank God I went legit, swear. Oh, wait, isn't open one of the ones that Trump's in? Isn't open one of them Trump stocks? Yeah. If open is one of them Trump stocks, bro, I can't, man. The technical, I can't even do nothing with that. Trump say buy it, fuck it, we buying that shit. Thank God I went legit. Ah, see, perfect. Sweep low, bang. So if open does actually pop, probably in the next week or two. We already had earnings, but yeah, within the next week or two, if this is really good, it'll break out, retest, and then continue from here. So yeah, open is one of the easier ones because it's a smaller range as far as being incorrect. Niggas always walking on the net. Oklahoma. Oh, 72%. My boy caught 72%. Yes, sir. Nice little bag. Let me check open. Oh, this is open. Jet lag got me. But yeah, I ain't gonna lie. You have a nice little risk reward, right? Risk and then breakout, retest is your reward. So, but of course, these kind of plays, like, the ones that need a little bit more time, buy some time, relax, take a little break, right? See, look at this. Look at this. This is what I'm talking about. This is why I say you gotta take profit level to level. You cannot hold in hope. We came down, even if we gotta close below. That's just a first confirmation. Remember, you need multiple, one, two, three, multiple reasons to get into a play, or if you already missed it, right? But we already took the level. My boy already took his 72%. Gorgeous, right? If you left a runner, boom, you stop out in profit, right? You would rather do it that way than to just hold and be like, I think we're gonna go low a day. Because now the people who don't know what they're doing, they're just holding like, oh, we gotta dump, it's gotta go lower. Now they're probably break even, probably red. You know what I'm saying? Getting cooked. I need to check Tesla. Tesla's still in that range, still just bullshitting. It ain't really doing nothing right now. That's why I'm like, we're still waiting for it. Remember, I said Tesla's one of the ones. Once we get our alert, right here. Once we get the alert, I guess we could go right here. Be a little better. We close above this, then like I said, end of day, Tesla's gonna be one of those ones, right? I love a good 0 DTE Tesla end of day. Mm-mm. Yeah. Right now, I'm trying to find the best like swings and shit like that. So like something like meta or something like damn, bro. Look how smooth this was. We called this shit too. And then I was trading fucking SPY. I mean, don't get me wrong, we still caught 500% on SPY, so we're not mad at it. But this shit, man, good God. But yeah, remember I said on if you watch the daily YouTube videos, I said, hey, don't chase this. You know what I'm saying? Even if it goes higher first, don't chase that because most people are gonna chase it, right? You have to think like a normal person, right? You have to think if I just didn't know what I was doing, what would I do? Right. When how like when you'll see celebrities start talking about certain stocks and shit, that shit just starts going down. Because once normal people start to be like, oh, I heard Meta. Oh, Meta looks amazing. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be that retailer that gets trapped. So the same way when you're trading, you're like, damn, it's going. I want to get in so bad. But you have to tell yourself, like, everyone is thinking the same things as you because we're all human. We're all have the same emotions. We all, pretty much think the same shit, especially when it comes to trading. So you have to remember to lock in and be like, I'm gonna wait, right? And if it's just so hard for you to wait, zoom out. Remember, this is the 4 hour chart. So, don't be on the 5 and shit, because that shit gonna fuck you up too, right? 5 will fuck you up and tell you to short, right? 5 will be like, oh, go long, right? And you'll get cooked on either side here. So you want to make sure when it comes to swinging, especially good plays, you want to zoom out. Look left, right? Where did we reject it last time? Look, we rejected here, came all the way down here, and then took off. So going forward, even though we might be above, if we don't hold here and push from here, then you have to assume that we're going to do the same thing we just did, which is retest here, come down in this area, right? Which is what we're doing. So if this does hold, then we can start to look for the second leg, all right? Or whatever leg if it wants to keep pushing. Because remember, Meta's not at all-time highs. A lot of stocks have been at all-time highs. Meta's kind of like Microsoft. It's been lagging. I don't need clout. Yeah, see? Look, you see how that lines up? Perfectly. So anything over this, as long as we can continue to set a 4 hour or daily higher low, right? Whether it be here, whether it be here, right? Because we have a low, we have a low. Low, high, bang, 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 right? Bang. So if it does hold, then we'll be good for this to go long on this on Meta. But like I said, buy time when it comes to Meta, because you got a nice little target up here at 665. So that's a good $40. So buy time. You know what I'm saying? We don't got a 0 DT everything. Yep. Not really doing much. Breakdown, retest. If it continues lower, it's gonna be a dumper. But let's see. XOM still looking pretty good for long-term swings. Yeah. All right, so you look nice little trend, right? Stay in the trend, and then like I said, it's only one or two things gonna happen. Either you're gonna stay in this trend, right? Or you break out, retest, consolidate, right? Even retest this, whatever, bang, right? Keep it simple. That's why I keep saying keep it simple. I'm down $125 from options. Is there any advice for me? Um, what what did you what did you take? But I mean, just an overall rule of thumb is just be patient, right? I don't know if you're what you're looking at or anything like that, but zoom out, right? That's gonna be one tip I can always give everybody. A word of advice to everybody: zoom out, right? Don't matter what you do, no matter who you are, no matter what you're trading, futures, options, stocks, shares, whatever. Zoom out. Remember, the higher time frames are gonna be your friend. If Warren Buffett, right? He was the richest man in the world at one point. If Warren Buffett is telling us, hey, the stock market is made to take money from the impatient and give it to the patient. If he's telling us that shit, you know what I'm saying? Listen to bro. He got more money than me. Shit. I'm definitely gonna listen to cuz. You feel what I'm saying? So always zoom out, right? Even if shit looks good like this, for example. I understand why people took those puts on XOM. But remember, zoom out, see what's going on. Zoom out. Zooming out will tell you, all right, cool. Yeah, we do have head and shoulders, right? But zooming out will also tell you we are at major support. How do we know we're at major support? Because we bounced again. We bounced new all-time highs, bounce, right? So as far as we know, this is why you have risk to reward, right? Nothing's gonna be 100%. Of course, it can come down, right? Of course, but you just look left And most of the time, history will repeat itself, right? So if we did hold here, then we probably get a pop. You know what I'm saying? The same way we play spy. Let's go to our right. Remember I said with spy, we keep using the same levels. It's fine. Right? Look left. That's all we had to do is look left. You don't really need shit. You hide it all, right? Turn everything off. Zoom out, look left. Yes, head and shoulders. Yes, that's true. But where's the neckline? At previous all-time highs. So all you would have to do is wait for the all-time highs to break below, retest, and then we'll probably flush, right? But if not, then you have to assume that the trend is your friend, right? And it is. And this is why we took calls. This is why we swung calls, right? Took that profit. I'm glad I landed the plane and we were still up, right? I was so hurt. I was like, bro, I already knew too. I'm like, damn, because I forgot my flight was this early. And I was in Miami, so it's an hour difference. So I'm like, oh man, like I'm cooked. Like I'm cooked. Cause my brain, I'm like, okay, we gotta, market. I'll fly to 8:30, I have enough time, but I'm forgetting I'm an hour behind. So it's really 9:30. So I'll wake up this morning, I'm like, I swung all these calls, I'm gonna be cooked. But yeah, once I seen that shit, I'm like, okay, we're gonna be straight. Out of simp, eh? Remember, this is end of month, so expect craziness, expect some wildness. Bro, where's my other chart? I can't find that shit. Yeah, let's stick to our baby right now because we're almost getting into that. We're almost getting into power hour. So let's lock in on SPY real quick. Y'all know this is our favorite chart. Look, see, trend is still bullish, right? So our goal is to buy oversold dips. You see how this long this took? Bang, we bought it, took off. Can you see that? Been a B1. D1. Damn, we hit my target. That's crazy. I gave us this target, what, 2 days ago? I gave us a 657 target. That's crazy. We hit that shit. All right. All we got to do, look at the overnight high from last night. Right. Because remember, we're at all-time highs. So it's a little harder to trade this versus that's why I've been focusing so much on other tickers. Right. Because look, if we get this close above this, right? Let's say we get this close here, we hold here. We're gonna go long, right? I know we all want to go short. We always want to go, we always want to dump it and shit. But if this holds, we have to stick with the plan. Right? Now, if it doesn't, we know our levels. We crack this, right? Then we know where to target. Go right back, right? All you gotta do is look left. We're still inside this range here. So even though we're getting a pump, we gotta wait for that candle to close. We got 8 minutes. I'm just gonna see what it's talking about. Mhm. Hood, thanks for the help. For sure. You took oh, Robinhood? Yeah, we looked at that one what, a few weeks ago? Yeah, look, see? That's what I'm saying. You keep that shit simple, then it'll work in your favor. We said, hey, if we break out retest, remember we said in here, inside the channel, anything goes, right? Inside of these channels, you can oh, hold on. Right? Inside of these channels, you can chop, you can break out, you know what I'm saying? You can fail all that shit. But the minute you get a true higher time frame breakout retest, remember, look, we got it on the 4 hour. You got it on the 4 hour, you got to break out. So 4, 8, 12. For 12 hours, you broke out, retest, and you pushed above where we broke out at. So your trigger was the breakout zone, wherever we broke out from. And of course, like I said, you can zoom in, make it a little easier for yourself. Wow. You see how easy that is when you zoom out? See how easy it is when you zoom out. You go from the higher time frames, work your way down. Boom, look, you bumped your head a few times, pre-market held, boom, pump. Remember, if you swung, cool, you got time, it's okay. But if you're not, you want to wait till that retest first. Because just like Tesla, that shit'll go and then you'll end up down here. You know what I'm saying? So wait for the retest, boom, you got the retest, and then what? Even if you wanted to wait for this candle, wait it till we broke above the original breakout and then look at you. Fucking golden. You know what I'm saying? So all those same rules apply to all the stocks. It's just a matter of you. You know what I'm saying? It's a matter of you. How simple you make it, how easy you make it. All right. All right. Let's see if they come and give us a double bottom. Remember, if this is double bottom, you also have to remember what is everybody else thinking. Most people, for some reason, I'm not really sure. Most people want us to go down. Right? It's just I don't understand it. But if you look at overall sentiment, everybody wants us to go down. And we might not. But the best case is to just be patient, wait for this candle to close. We got 6 minutes left. If we do get a nice, decent close over the top, all we have to do is wait for that candle that opens. If it starts to break, right? Get a little push, just go ahead and get our start position in, right? And then boom, we start to break out above. Add, right? You add into the winners because we already have targets. We're playing this level by level. Oh, hold on. You said what now? You said NVIDIA pop back? Hold on. Ooh. Hold on. Let's check Tesla too. Oh, Tesla still. Remember, I said Tesla, you zoom out. Tesla's still in that handle. That's why I said you just wait, right? You got a position, you got to start a position. Bro, it's cool. We've been waiting for what, damn near an hour for this to play out. And if it plays out, us waiting would have been worth it, right? Versus trying to play the 5, play the 1. Oh, it's going down, I gotta go short. Oh, it's going back up, I gotta go long. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, fuck that. Relax. Not that serious. Oh yeah. Yeah, so this is good. Let's check the video real quick. Because everything's 0 DTs. What is the high of day? 217.5. Ooh, shit. Or 5 minutes left in this candle. Okay. Yeah. Let this candle kind of confirm either above or kind of hold this level. Then we can probably do a little starter position in some NVIDIA 0 DT calls. Like I said, I'm not really looking to swing NVIDIA just yet because I already have a further out position. But for zeros, we'll watch this 5 close. And look, it's already giving us our stops and our levels, right? We close back below. Let's say something happens. Boom, we stop out. It's just, it is what it is, right? You win some, you lose some. But best case scenario, right? The initial pullback, hold into the zone. Bang, come check out the highs. Let's see how much these contracts are actually. I want the thick one. I want the thick one. Shit, Tesla still look good. And of course, like I said, if you're down, you know what I'm saying. If you're down, or like I said, if you're new in general, buy time, right? Just buy time. Just be safe, buy time. Because even if we go long, let's say we buy 0 DT SPY and the video calls. If you're still fairly new, you might not understand how all this is working, right? So, and you don't want to rush your process, right? You want to give yourself some good time to be like, I understand how this is working, right? So let's see. NVIDIA 217. They're $25. That's a decent ass lotto. We got 3 minutes left in this. Let's see what a SPY's looking like. SPY's looking good. All right, 3 minutes left in this. Yeah, see, breakout retest. This looks good. So you can either buy time for Monday, or you can just do a small starter position, right? Because remember, we still need a retest, right? We got the break for sure. We got the close, right? We need the retest here or the breakdown retest here. Either or is fine. But you never just want to, like I said, you don't want to go full size just because. Yeah, even these, the 758s are only $25. Both of them on NVIDIA and SPY are only $25. So this would be a nice little easy end of day play if they want to just squeeze it. All right, we're getting that pullback now. Remember, if they set a lower high, then we won't clear this. But if they have a plan on setting a higher high, we'll start to clear, right? And then we'll just continue. There he goes, right? I want the thick one. There we go. Hey, what the fuck? See? Patience. Oh, shit. Right? NVIDIA already pushing. Remember, the cheap 0 DTs, right? You got to do too much. You don't got to go too heavy, right? Oh, wow. Good God. All right, I'm going to trim here. Or actually, hold on. I'm going to wait for this to close. I'm going to trim a few, but I'm going to wait for this to close. Because if this is going to push, I'm going to add to this, right? I'm going to add to this position. What's your further outdated? If you wanted to go further out, I would do like I would do 220s for next week, right? If you want to go further out, and like I said, it's just so much safer, right? But like I said, I'm already up a lot on the day. I'm not really, I'm not doing this to get green. I'm not, what I'm saying? This is just more so, because if you're up, you don't want to use a bunch of your profit to put that shit back in the casino. Fuck no, right? 69%. There we go. Yeah, so Nvidia's pushing, right? You want to wait for this close, right? And if it closes, then look, this is how we play this, right? We took 0 DTs, 70% one candle. Do you hold and hope that it goes, or do you roll your position, right? Rolling is safer. You take the money that you just made off the initial push, because remember, this shit can go high there and keep pushing to 220. We don't know. But to protect ourselves, we want to take the money we just made, because that's the worst shit ever, right? You make some bread and then you blink or you don't take profit, and then that shit's back down here. Now you're like, I should have took it, right? You never want to have those moments. So instead, you take the shorter dated options, you take that profit, roll that shit out. Because if you roll it out and then it goes down, then it's like, okay, instead of being down 70% on a 0 DT, be down 5, 10, 15, you know what I'm saying? Nothing crazy. That was a crazy candle though. I love how we got in, and I love how shit just goes our way. Oh my God. Yeah, let's go. Still running around with like 100 guns. 125%. Let's fucking go. Let's see SPY. Our SPY calls the 25, those are up 25%. So I'm gonna take, like I said, you sell into the strength, you sell into the move and just roll your money out. Because remember, you would rather miss more profit than to go red. You know what I'm saying? You would rather go be like, damn, I took 40% and it went to 200 than be like, oh, I held through 60 and then it went to 0. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm gonna take this. Like I said, I'm gonna take this and then we can roll if we want to. All right, sold. I am out. Nice low 100%. Ain't nothing too crazy. All my bitches love Chanel. That's actually pretty tough, right? You take that, boom, move on to the next play. Remember that, and that's the thing that most people don't do. They'll take the play and then be like, oh, I'll stalk it. No, you take the play. Once you get out, you either have another level that you're waiting for, or you just move on, right? You move on, get that shit out of your face, because you'll start to, you'll be like, oh, I gotta get back in with this. You know what I'm saying? And then sometimes it might go against you and you end up losing out. So instead, we just take our money, we roll that shit. You feel what I'm saying? So we already took 100%, right? Our SPY is already up 25%. So we'll take NVIDIA. Like I said, we'll look at NVIDIA next week's for 220, because that shit can keep flying, right? But we don't want to put that risk on ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Let's zoom out. What's next Friday? The 5th? Next Friday is the 5th. Where's 230 at? I think 230 is probably my main upper target for the weekly in this range, 220, 225. Yeah, so you could do, obviously 220 is a lot closer, so it's gonna be a little bit more expensive. But when you buy time, like I said, it's just easier. Look, we bought our first set of NVIDIA down here, right? So we already printed, sold, you got to retest, and now you're printing, right? Next level, 220, right? Once you break this channel, that shit gonna fly. And we know NVIDIA loves to go fucking crazy. So we can do actually next Fridays we can do next Friday's 230. It's like a little swing, you know what I'm saying? Because we just made over 115% on the 0 DTs, right? You take a partial amount of that money, right? You'll never want to put all your money back into play. You still gotta pay yourself. For me, SPY still looking good. See, look, and you see how smooth this was when I say, hey, you gotta get out when you hit your levels. You gotta take profit, because yes, this could have went to low update. Yes, of course it can, but we don't know that. So why would you put your money in a risk, especially if you just made it, right? You sat through, my boy Manny, he sat through all of this. Now, why would he sit? He got 70%. Why the hell would he sit and be like, oh, it's gotta go low update? Right? Absolutely not. We're playing level to level. We look left, we see that, hey, the market bounced, 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 took off, swept, took off again, came back down. So even if we think it might go down, we still would have to see it break down, retest, continuation, right? So because we don't know, we just go with whatever the market has done before. We look left. right? And because we're at all-time highs, this is all we have to go off of. It's pre-market levels. That's it. This is all we got. That's all we got. So as far as we know, market's bullish, right? Zoom out. Remember, zoom out, look left. What are we doing? Market's extremely bullish. So you got to stick with the market, right? The trend is your friend. And like I said, it is as simple as you make it, right? The market isn't hard to trade. This shit isn't, it's this and this. Nah, it's only hard like that when you force it to be hard like that. When you're trying to force trades, when you're trying to get in between levels, right? When you don't see no confirmation and you're still trying to make the play work, that's when shit gets hard because there's no reason for you to be in that play in the first place. I wish I kind of smoking on this cherry pie. There we go. Nice little 30% on these spy calls. And all right. Trim, obviously you got to trim at 30%, right? Because look, remember, we dumped from right here. So, you don't want to just be that person like I said, oh, hold and hope. Let's just pray it goes. Obviously it can. Of course it can. But you want to make sure you're taking your profit. You want to make sure that you're like, we dumped from here last time. Remember, just like the gap closed. See, look, we came down here. What did we do at this gap? We closed the market and we gapped up crazy. So if we come down and close the gap, what most likely are we going to do? Initially, get up, move up, right? Was it Friday? Let me see. What day was this? Was it last Friday? Yes, last Friday. See, look, we had a gap right here. What did we do when we initially hit that gap level? We did what we did the first time. We gapped down here. We came back to it. So that means what? There's sellers sitting right here. So vice versa, right? If we had buyers here, and how do we know we had buyers? We gapped up. So if there's buyers sitting here, what are they going to do initially? They want to get a discount, right? They want to get discount just like me. You want to buy, you like buying shit on sale. I like buying shit on sale. You know what I'm saying? We don't pay full price for shit. So we want to bait for a discount. And where would that discount be? Where we gapped up at. So that's an easy way to play gap for reversals is just look, hey, is this a gap down or a gap up? Which one are we closing? And that's why I said, I forget what ticker it was y'all were looking at. I forget which one it was, but it had that crazy gap above. So I said, hey, initially, if you want to hit it, you don't want to go long into that gap. You want to sell into that gap because most people, whoever got caught in that gap down, they're trying to get out at break even. You know what I'm saying? So they're like, fuck this shit. I'm out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. See, look, see, perfect example. We took our profit here, right? And the thing is, like I said, you can always get back in, right? Leave some runners, whatever we want to do, or just buy more time, right? And because we don't know if this is just going to be a breakdown retest for a larger move down, we don't know that shit. We just know there's some sellers sitting right here, right? And we know that the only way to show us if we're bullish is if we get back above where those sellers sitting at. So we took that profit, nice little 30%. I love that. I love that for us. You know, I don't get nosy. Oh, I forgot to roll. I forgot to roll Microsoft. All right, Microsoft. I'm gonna roll. Let's look for a roll on Microsoft real quick. All right, let me see. Microsoft. What did I say Friday was? June 5th. Or actually, what is this? 450? What we can actually, I forget we can do closer strikes now. Monday is the first. Not doing Mondays. Wednesday? Not zeros for sure. Yeah, you could. I mean, you could do Monday. I ain't gonna lie. We still got time. We still got power hour. Look, and we got a nice little flag into the support. All right. So you break out, retest. First things first, take out that high. That's your confirmation, right? Because remember, just because we're in a flag, this flag may want to take some more time, right? This may trap and it wants to come, do a little bit more. So you need a close, push, confirmation. What's the word on Microsoft? Microsoft, I like this for time. I'm not gonna lie. I like Microsoft for time. Like, I'm talking about, like, if you can afford it, buy time. Remember, look, we've been going over this for a while now. We've been going over Microsoft for a while. right? Look, what do we do? Bear trap. How do we know it's a bear trap? Because we're in a bull market, right? How do you read bear traps? They come and sweep, swing high, swing right. They come and sweep it to make most people think, oh, it's going to be a reversal. And if it's truly bullish, right, like we are, then all we have to all we have to do is wait for it, bang, bang, bang. Oh, and then once it cannot go lower, it's gonna try. It's gonna feel real, right? That's why this was so frustrating, because it felt real. Like, damn, we just can't go higher. It's gonna take a while. But once you see that, like, it's not really going down, but it's not going up, but we're still in a bull market. Probably setting the trap. And then once you get that fucking squeeze, right? That squeeze, we're gonna come back and take out, And like I said, even if we do create a lower high and go lower, it doesn't matter, because we're options traders. We can get in and out, right? We get in, we get out. We bought here, right? We bought here, and then we sold here, and then we get back in if we want, because now we can roll out and we took our profit. So if it does continue lower and it's a a bull trap, then we'll be like, okay, we understand the bull trap, right? But either way it goes, as long as you are consistently taking profit, rolling, taking profit, rolling, then it's like, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? And this is why I said I like to play zeros with my ones on spot, because even yesterday we got that crazy fucking 500 whatever percent move it was. I was able to hold that because I sold all my zeros 500%. Still was able to hold my ones, and they slowly, it took forever, but it slowly went in the money. You know what I'm saying? We took that profit. But yeah, if you want to wait for it, of course, it's all, like I said, it's always better to wait if you don't have a bunch of capital to play with. My boy's on live. Let me text him real quick. 1 second. Got to make sure all my students are taken care of, man. All right, I responded, bro. But yeah, like I said, if you're if you're starting with a smaller account, it's always going to be better for you to just wait for the level, right? Wait for the level to break, retest, close. Remember, this is a 4-hour zone, so you probably have to look for the 30-minute. And look, see, this is what I'm talking about. Just because this candle was full green, you don't want to just be like, oh, I'm gonna get in now. We still got 15 minutes left on this candle, 18 minutes, right? And like literally what I just said, if it wants to continue into this for a while or for the rest of the day, so be it, right? And this is why waiting and buying time is so important, because we don't know, right? We don't know if this shit's gonna come up here and sweep low and then be a fake breakout, right? We don't know that shit. So the best case scenario is to boom, we hit our target. My target for the day was 440, right? When I got off the plane, boom, 440, I'm out. I don't care if we continue going. I don't have FOMO, right? I mean, I feel FOMO on some of that shit. Like Dell, for sure, I feel FOMO. Snow, I obviously feel FOMO. Anything that goes 40%, I'm gonna feel a little FOMO. But when it comes to our positions, we got 200%. You know what I'm saying? How greedy can you be, right? If you ask the market, please let me get this move. Market gives you the move. How greedy could you be to be like, oh, I know I asked for this, but I'm gonna hold to this, right? No, the market's not guaranteed to do anything. Can you look at CRM? I sure can. But yeah, so like I said, we can just actually watch this. Show this on Microsoft. Hopefully, we go ahead and get it. What alerts I got? Don't need this. No facts. And bro said I got to make a chat with all the students so we can all be in the same thing. It's not Amazon. Do we need Amazon anymore? Hold on, let me see. Do I need Amazon? See, before I change this on SPY, see how it swept that low, and then it might push up, take out that wick. Let's look at this real quick. Do I need Amazon? No, we don't need Amazon anymore. We already got out this. This one was we got stopped out in profit, so it is what it is. But this one irritated me. But real quick, Amazon does have the same pattern, right? And how we know if it's real? If it slices through, good volume, retest, and then it'll dump. But if it's not and it's taking a while, this shit might do like all the other ones. Breakout, right? Your little consolidation, retest, and then sweep. Which obviously, it looks good, but it's not for us to decide. BRM. Damn. y'all always want to give me the ones that already took off crazy. All right, let's look at it. Okay, as long as it's not at all-time highs, okay, we can really do something with it. I hate the ones where people give me and that shit's like already all-time highs, and it's like, fuck, right? See, look, even perfect here. Head and Shoulders was nice, right? It looks good. Bang, bang, bang. And what did we get on the 4 hour? Or no, my fault. The weekly. We got a weekly breakdown, retest. Boom. Once we smack that low, then we came down. But it looks like we're finding some support, right? Look left, middle zone, probably right here. Another one. You're gonna give yourself just a little range, not too crazy. This is good. This looks good. I'm not gonna lie. This looks pretty good. This looks pretty good. I actually would swing this. I would actually swing this. Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. So if you're already in, you know, your goal to make sure you're taking profit, right? You can hold it a little longer, especially if you got time. Remember, time is your friend. Time is your friend, man. Time is your friend. So, like I said, of course, zeros are fun. We just caught 150% in what, 6 minutes on the video. Yes, I understand it. It's fun. You make a lot of bread from it. But after trading for years and years and years, you start to understand that slow, easy money is so much better than fast, riskier money, right? Because your heart's beating all the time, you're stressing, you have to constantly check. But when you buy time and you zoom out, you're like, okay, I got a month on these contracts, right? I'm allowed to let it sit and consolidate here. If I'm in zeros, ones, or weeklies, then it's like, oh fuck, if we don't go this week, I'll lose, right? And then that's the thing. Most people will be on the right side. Most people, when you look at the charts, you'll be like, okay, I see a breakout retest, but they'll still be like, all right, let me buy zero DTs. You know what I'm saying? So most times people have that problem to be like, damn, I was on the right side. It just happened later on. So how do you fix that? You buy time. You relax, man. Remember, keep it calm, keep it simple. It's what we do, right? So yeah, what is this? CoreWeave or CRM, Salesforce? Yeah. So if you're already in, I would definitely suggest trimming, right? Definitely trim your positions because we just broke the channel, right? We finally got our break, but you don't want to end up like this, right? You don't want to end up like this where it breaks and then sweeps back below. So we got to close. Remember, that's step one. So that's good. This is very good for upside, right? Step two, right? A little consolidation above, whether it be an instant retest, no matter what it may be, right? Give it some time. We don't know, right? But once you clear wherever this is, right? You have your targets 210, bang. You have your targets 230, right? You just look left, bang, 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 right? You got your targets. You already got them set. So just keep it, like I said, keep it simple. So if you're already in CRM, yeah, this is a good one. Relax, breathe a little bit. NVIDIA looks like it may continue streaming to the weekend. Yeah, and like I said, I like NVIDIA for time. That's why I said we took our zero DT profit. We took that shit because we don't want to, right? You don't want to get caught up in shit like this. Because even though obviously we targeted that same wick, boom, we hit it, right? You don't want to be greedy with the stock market. You can't be like, please, I wanted to go to 217. Then it goes to 217, and now you like, go to 220, please. You know what I'm saying? It's greedy. That's greedy. And then most times the market isn't always just gonna be right, unless we're in trend day. Trend day, it's easier. And you'll be like, okay, cool, breakout retest, all right, cool. But you know what I'm saying? Trend days are just so much fun, or even to the downside. Breakdown retest, breakdown retest. You know what I'm saying? It's just so much fun. But if we're not trending, you don't want to be that person, right? That sits there and be like, oh man, I gotta have it now. It's gotta go now. Nah, man, relax. You asked for that level. We asked for this, did we not? Did we not ask for this, right? We asked for it. We got the sweep back below, retest on that candle. We held, we took it. 10 minutes, 125%. Bang. And what do? We roll out, right? Because we have time. And even if, like I said, even if it comes down and we lose it, we would rather take 20% loss on a further out contract, or 10%, whatever, than to go from 70% up to red. You know what I'm saying? So it just makes sense to buy time. We're not stressing this, right? We're not stressing a red candle. We're not stressing every single wick. We bought time. We rolled out. We just secured 125% from this little shit right here. You know what I'm saying? So just can't be greedy, man. You can't be creative. Great trades today. Appreciate trading with you. Of course, man. Of course, it's what we do, man. It's what I'm here for. In my pockets. And my bro, take that drink on island. See? Look at what we just talked about. Right? We look left. What do we have over here? Sellers. So what initially were we gonna do? Sell. And look what we did. Already smacked. So people who didn't take that profit, people who were like, oh, I just need a little bit more. I just need a little bit more. Look at them, red as fuck, right? That's not us. We play level to level. That is it. That is how you consistently stay above. You consistently stay ahead. I same example. Microsoft. Yes, I love Microsoft. I want Microsoft to go crazy. I do. I want it to gap up and just keep flying. But I'm not gonna take that risk on myself when I just got paid almost 300%. You feel what I'm saying? So I just rather wait. And like I said, even if right, because I sold when I got off the plane, it was like at 440, 441, something like that. Even this little move, yeah, I mean, of course, yeah, a little $4 or $5, I probably missed maybe another 100% or whatever. Who cares? Who cares? Green is green, right? And as long as you are consistently adding green days, whether that shit is $1, $10, $100, $1,000, no matter what, as long as you can consistently stay green, that compound will continue to make you profitable over the long amount of time. Because anybody can take one trade and be profitable today, right? But the goal is to be profitable the week, right? Then you want to profitable for the month. Then you want to be profitable for the quarter. Then you want to have a good, half a quarter. I mean, half a year. Then you want to be good for the year. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a step by step by step. And this is why I never tell y'all like my contract size or how much money I put in and nothing like that, because I don't want you to look at me and be like, oh, well, he put in $1,000 for this, so I have to put in a heavier amount. No, because you don't know what I'm working with, right? I could have, somebody could have $100,000 account and they put in $1,000 trade. That's 1% of their account. That means really nothing to them. But if you have $2,000, that's 50% of your account. You feel what I'm saying? So you don't want to be like, oh, well, they put in crazy, because perfect example, Tesla, right? We got to start a position. Tesla ain't done shit. That shit is red. But if I told y'all, hey, I put $1,000 in as my starter position, and you're like, damn, he put 1,000 in? Damn, that means he might think he might go. And then you try to put 1,000 in, and then it goes down. Now you're like, fuck, I'm cooked. Meanwhile, for me, I'm like, that's fucking a 1/4% of my account. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I never tell y'all account size. I don't show y'all a number profit, none of that shit. Because remember, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If you can be profitable with $100 account, $500 account, $1,000 account, you can be profitable with bigger amounts, right? You don't need to just think about size and money and dollar signs all the time, because that shit will fuck your head up, right? That's how I was when I first started trading. I only cared about the number, right? So I would be like, oh fuck, I'm down $100, $200, right? I'd be like, oh damn, we got to pull back. Fuck, I'm down. Let me look at my account. I'm down 200, versus me looking at the levels and just being like, oh, okay, it's a nice little breakout retest, right? Nice little breakout retest. Not too crazy. It's not that bad, right? Even though, right, we did it was a decent pullback into here and here. But remember, we only care about open and closes of these candles. So old me is like, ah, fuck, I'm down. You're right. I bought too late, right? I'm chasing the move. Now I'm down, whatever, $100. Woo. And then I end up selling, and then you get this shit right here, right? And then you gap up, and now I'm sitting there like, oh, if I would have just held. So yeah, you never really care about the money, man. And that's why people ask me about stop losses. I use levels as stop losses. Remember, we use levels. We don't use money. We don't use dollar signs, because if you have a volatile day, right? We've seen it plenty of times on SPY. We'll have a volatile, crazy day. Should be moving like this, right? That shit will stop you out. Or vice versa. You'll have a day where that shit does this, right? That shit does this. It's not going fucking nowhere for hours, hours. And now you're like, damn, my contract's right down 30%. Boom, you stopped out. Meanwhile, we never broke the support level. We're just consolidating over it. And then boom, you get a crazy move, and now you're like, oh, I stopped out at 30, or I stopped out at 20, right? People have their stop losses too tight when it comes to numbers, and you need to just worry about your levels. So instead of me, and I'm not gonna lie, of course, if you're fairly new, or if you do have problems with stop losses, and that is something you really do struggle with, of course, it's easier to start off with the hard stop loss, just to train your brain to get used to being stopped out, right? Because you still have to learn how to lose, right? Everyone, it's easy to win, and my sister, I can give her trade. She fucking win that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like it's easy to win money in the market, but keeping it, right, is hard, because most people just they're all over the place, anxiety, they're stressed, the cortisol's up, all type of shit. But remember, the goal is to remain profitable over the long time. So you got to put yourself in the best position to do that, right? And the best place to do that is to watch your levels. Even if, like I said, you got in here, right? Let's say you got your starter position over here. I'm not gonna stop out just because maybe it's down, maybe well, 15, whatever, 20%, whatever the case may be, right? I just wouldn't add into it until I get confirmation that this is going to hold. And then once it starts to hold, push above, you just get back in, right? Add some more. You go along with it. I'm not going to be like, fuck, I got in right here. It's right here. I'm down whatever percent. Because that's how I was yesterday, right? Yesterday, we took zeros at open. We bought 0DTs at open. I called Microsoft at open. We took that shit. Boom. I sold once we hit our levels. Well, actually, I had an auto stud. Sold me 200%. I went ahead and said it because, like I said, I was on vacation and shit. So I don't want to be, with my girlfriend just, keep looking at all this shit. Even though I do have a bad habit with that. But I didn't want to, what I'm saying? You don't want to just keep staring at the shit all the time. So once we hit, I'm like, all right, I'll put in this stop. And if it profit stops me, then so be it. Boom, I hit 200%. It actually ended up going crazy to like 400%. But like I said, it is what it is, man. We can always get back in. And what did we do? We got a nice 1, 2. You got 2 hourly, mind you, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're about a good 4 hours above, right? So it didn't do anything for the rest of the day. But because we were patient, we zoomed out. I don't care about how low it dipped, right? Because those contracts did dip to like, I think like um, I want to say -20 when I looked at it at the lowest, but I didn't even see it down here. I only saw it when it was like right here, and I was down like 20%. But I wasn't like, 20% is my automatic stop. You know what I'm saying? People who have automatic stops, they miss a lot of good trades, right? Because like I said, you can have a starter position where you get in or right, like this candle right here. Okay, cool. I understand this breakout retest, right? You think this candle is going to continue, and it doesn't for 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what I'm saying? 4 hours, but we never lost the low. We never lost 420. So it's still a good play, but you just might be in some drawdown. But most people just can't handle drawdown. It's a lot harder for people, right? And look, perfect example why we bought time on the video. We don't care about chop as long as it does not lose our level, right? As long as it does not slice at some point or whatever, and then clear this, then then we'll be like, okay, we'll take that L. But because we already made bread on zeros, we have a cushion, so it doesn't really matter anyway. SPY, nice little double top under here, right? We still need to confirm for downside retest, boom, like this. Or just a little pullback, all right? Make a bug, continue, right? But remember, we don't like to diddle in the middle. So for us, we not really fucking with this at all. You could try, you could try calls with time at a lower level. You could, of course. But why? 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 Literally, why? Why? Perfect example. Let's go back and look at I want to say it was Monday, or not Monday, Tuesday. Yes, Tuesday. Look, perfect example, right? I was at I think it was at brunch or shit. I'm like, hey, look, we should try some calls, right? And we got the first level. I mean, it started to push, but then it came back down. Didn't necessarily make a new low, right? It didn't come closer into the gap. It just kind of held. So, we stopped out or whatever. I was like, hey, told chat, like, hey, I'm gonna stop out here. I'd rather just remember if it doesn't start going your way, you can always get out. You can always get back in. You know what I'm saying? It's not the end of the world. So I'm like, okay, first position is not it. All right, cool. I got out. Waited, right? Went to lunch, did whatever I was doing, had fun, blah, 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 blah. Touch grass. And then as I come back, I'm like, hold on. We came back to it, but we also set a higher low. I mean, not my fault. We also set a higher high after setting this low. So all I had to do was wait towards end of day and be like, call, fuck. If we do set another higher low, then my best case is a inverse head and shoulder, right? And I know that we're bullish because of what? Zooming out. This is a bull market. And I know for a fact that we had previous resistance up here in this level. So if we're turning that previous resistance, we're not slicing it. Remember, this is resistance. So if it's not doing this, then SR is starting to flip, right? It's going from resistance to support, or it's going from support to resistance. It's one of the two. So consolidation is always good because what? Consolidation leads to expansion. So for us, like I said, it's risk to reward. We don't know anything for 100%, but we have good educated guesses. Educated guess, cool. We buy in, and then literally, bang, we made like what over 100%. I don't even remember, but we made a nice little bag off that shit just by waiting. Right, I'm not gonna play in the flat levels. I'll just wait, see if we set higher lows, see if we're holding support. Right, just like this. Mm, 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 mm. Right? It's not. It doesn't seem like support is holding as of now. Right? I mean, it is as far as low, higher low, and then as of now. But you don't want to see something like this, right? Because now it's like, okay, well, we can't seem to bounce higher. Remember, we sold up here because where sellers were. So if this was, remember what I said earlier, if this is just a breakdown retest, then we'll see it. And what are we seeing now? All right. See how easy that is? It's more so just about waiting, right? We don't have to catch every single candle. Because remember what I always tell y'all, the market's not going to give you 20 setups a day. That shit's not, that's impossible. It's unheard of, right? You can, I mean, you could take 20 scalps a day. It's your money. You do whatever the fuck you want to do. But the market is not going to give you 20 A+ setups a day. It'll probably give you, a couple, maybe a handful, but it's not just going to be, oh, this is a great setup. This is a great setup. This is a great setup. No, that's not how that works, right? So knowing that makes you be a little bit more patient, right? We took the calls off the second bounce, right? We sold it literally right here. We already had a level. Now look at it, right? We didn't take puts, right? We didn't have to. You could have if you wanted to. Like I said, and that's the fun part about trading. It just depends on what you're looking at. Me, I like playing oversold dips, right? I obviously was on the plane for this, but I would have bought this, right? We did buy this, nice 30%, right? But if you're one of those people who you just like playing to the downside, then you'd be like, all right, cool. I seen my high. If we sweep the high and go lower, I'll sell it. And then what do? Came up, swept the high, instant rejection, break down, retest inside this candle. You go down short, right? Break down, retest. And if this is what you're looking for to short, you go short, right? That's the fun part about trading. It just depends on how you look at it, right? What you're looking for, right? Because the all rules still apply, right? If you're going upside, the same rules of upside apply for downside. You're not going to go short until you see lower highs and rejection, and you're not going to go long until you see higher lows and acceptance, right? So either way it goes, we're having fun, right? We're doing what we're doing. It don't matter. Nothing matters, right? We don't control this shit. We just try to catch a little piece of that motherfucker. That's all we really care about. We just want a little piece. You know what I'm saying? We just want to just little piece. We just all we want, a little piece of this shit. All right, we don't need this no more. So, right, we got our starter position for next week. All we gotta do, set alerts. So then if we get the move back above, we can be like, all right, it'll hold. Then we can actually add into the position and aim for the upper targets, right? That 220. But if not, it doesn't matter because, like I said, we're not full position. So it's not like, oh, my heart's beating so fast. This and this. Yeah, hell no. It don't matter. Drop some other tickers while we wait for this SPY. Yeah, look, and then perfect example. Look, on the video, right? We caught 125% from this move. Now, if you were in zeros, this shit would be red. But because we rolled out, we're only down 4%. 4, that's nothing, right? That's who cares about a little 4%. But if you were too too zealous, you wanna, oh, I gotta have zeros every time, and you're fucked, right? Now you're praying, please go up, please go up. But if you bought time, you catching the vibe. You know what I'm saying? You're not really chilling, you're not really doing much. Smoke a little za, go touch some grass, go hoop. You know what I'm saying? Just do whatever. Set alerts. And that's what alerts are for. And if I wasn't on live, I wouldn't be watching this shit. Hell no. You set an alert, you walk away and you go do something. Get away. You know what I'm saying? Just go away. Go away. That's all I tell people. When you bank, go away. Go away. Run away. Run away. And it gets, it's hard to, get away from the markets, especially because you feel like there's always a move or always something, what I'm saying, going on. But once you start to, like I said, once you start to identify, me watching this market is not gonna make it move, right? Or me stressing about the market isn't gonna make it go my favorite. Once you start to remember that shit, it's like, oh, zoom out. You know what I'm saying? Let that shit play out. Check Microsoft real quick. I'm still waiting for this dip. There we go. This is what I want to see. Wow, look at that. See, I said we don't want to just blindly buy. You want to wait for the channel to break. Oh no, it should go. Let it play. Where do we break out at? Bing. All you gotta do is wait. Give yourself a little zone. Obviously, you wouldn't want it to come all the way down here. You wouldn't want that, but open, close. All right, here is probably the lowest you'd want it to go as far as going long. So you can add in, right? Because we're at the first level. You can add in here. If it wants to go a little lower, right? You can add in. But remember, if it starts to lose, or my fault, not add in. You can watch and monitor, and then if it gets back above, you can add in, right? But if it's going lower, you're just watching it. You're watching it. You're monitoring because you do have days kind of like this where it might go sideways for the rest of the fucking day, right? And it's kind of what it's doing now. It popped and it's kind of going sideways. But I do want to look at Microsoft contracts for a long time. Microsoft and Meta, to be honest with you. The only thing I don't like though is just swinging over the weekend, man. That shit don't be fun. You be fucking stressed out. You looking at the weekend like, please go. He want to hang with a bad bitch. He want to hang with her. He want to hang with. It's my shit. My girl got me listening to that Sexy Red. Check Apple again. It's bouncing off the lows. All right, perfect. Let me look at Microsoft real quick first. I just want to look at the contracts. All right, for sure. All right, what you say, Apple? Ooh. Remember, still bullish as far as we know. Holding the bottom of the channel as far as we know. Sex. You want to hang with her. You want to hang with her. Yeah, making higher floors, making higher highs, higher floors. Yeah, this do look good. Apple do look good. Only thing about Apple, like I said, I hate trading stocks that are already at their all-time highs. It's just a little harder. Like I said, it can run. Like it can always keep going, you know. And even on the daily, it does look nice. Breakout, retest, right? Continuation, higher floor. It does look good for more on upside for Apple. But it's just the fact that, like I said, it's at all-time highs. So it does make it a little harder to trade. You would have to literally aim for new all-time highs. You know what I'm saying? You just got to keep aiming for that same target. So it is, like I said, a little harder. But zero DTs, hey, like I said, we want to take that risk. You know what I'm saying? You know where to look. Recent swing lows, where's that at? 312. So if you do want to take that out, aim for that 312, take some zero, you know what I'm saying? But be careful with that, you know what I'm saying? Playing at all-time highs. The same reason why we take a little time for SPY, you know what I'm saying? Is because it is at all-time highs. That's why I all of a sudden started switching over to, individual tickers and stuff like that. Because of course it's easy. SPY, you just buy time, hold calls, that should just print, right? That's not really teaching you how to trade. That's just teaching you how to be patient and hold, right? And then look, like I said, we're holding that zone as long as it's holding. And hey, the longer it holds, the better. It might be pretty nice. A little pop over here. It might be a little. Maybe you say, see how that some ops. See how it always lines up. Everything always lines up perfectly. So if it doesn't want to go, it'll crack that and then we'll lose it. Right? But if it does, right back over that same rejection level. What time is it? Oh, it's 2 o'clock. It's power hour. Ooh, wait, it might be XPX time. I never backdoor my man's that ain't in me. Yeah, see, and now we've been chilling on Nvidia. We're not stressing. Like we went from red to green. We're only up 2%, but you know what I'm saying? It's just the matter that it's just the fact that it doesn't really affect us. You know what I'm saying? Like all this doesn't affect us. But if we were on, let's say we were on the 1 minute. Let's say we were doing that bullshit. We trade the 1 minute, or we're like in zero DTEs still. Then you're praying for you need this to break, right? You need it. Anytime you need the market to do something, you got to recheck yourself because you're like, I need the market to do this right now. That means I'm either too heavily sized and it's fucking on my head, or my contracts are too close, right? Especially after we got the move, man. We already got the move. Instantaneous too. We didn't even have no drawback for real, for real. So yeah, people who are in the 1 minute, they're like, oh, it's almost there. Then they get smacked. And they're like, oh, I'm gonna sell, I'm gonna go short. Oh, it's pumping again, I'm gonna go long. Oh, I'm gonna go short. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the closer you zoom in, the more mixed signals you get. When you zoom out, we ain't did shit, right? We got a beautiful higher low, breakout, retest. As far as we know, this is a retest. So as far as we know, in the next 20 minutes, we should still close above this. Right? Hopefully we come take out the wick and just, give us the high identity cake. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's not for us to control. Fair. Yeah, this shit doing the same shit. But this looks good though, I'm not gonna lie. BNTSA. Yeah. Now we're getting closer to the day. Remember, the only time I truly will go like 5 minute or below is if we're getting close to the end of the day. Because remember, we don't the runway is only this long. We don't have that much time. So for end of day 0DT scalps, I'll zoom in a little bit. But when I'm looking for overall analysis and swings and shit like that, nah, I'm never gonna be. Let me check the file. Let me check. Hey, mama. Hi, baby. What's wrong? What's wrong, mama? Oh, oh, baby. Come here. Hey, mama. You miss me? You miss me? Oh, my baby. But yeah, right. You never want to just be too zoomed in on your normal everyday. Because remember, if you look at things on the 1 minute, you will have to take profit on the 1 minute. If you look at things on the 5 minute, you will have to take profit on the 5 minute, right? But if you zoom out, look at the daily, look at the hourly, then it allows you to wait hours for candles to close, right? 30 minutes for candles to close. So the higher time frame, that's why we're able to hold trades a lot longer, right? People have a problem, they'll be like, damn, my problem is I just can't hold a trade long enough. And I'll tell them you probably can't hold it long enough because you're too zoomed in, right? You're looking at this super micro ass, like, oh man, rejection double top, I'm going short, right? And then you get cooked most of the time because you're like, I thought I saw a bear flag. I thought I saw this. I thought I saw this. You did see it, but you saw it on a small time frame. So it had to play out on a small time frame. Perfect example. Again, there's so many perfect examples. All of the dips, right, have came and trapped the bears. This one, lows. Uh, this one, this is a good one too. And I told people, I said, hey, y'all know I don't really like giving y'all exact entries and stuff like that. But I said, please do not go short. Please do not short this at this level. Please don't do it. Right. And obviously it looks good. A huge bearish move, right? You've been dumping. Everybody's expecting that next leg down, right? It looks good. It's 5 minute bear flag, right? It looks good. Look at all these red candles. That shit looks amazing. Until you zoom out and you look and you be like, oh shit, major bulls took us to new all-time highs here. Major bullish right here took us to new all-time highs. So why would I short into the same spot that took us to all-time highs, right? But most people, like I said, they don't do that. And that's why I said trading can be so simple. Trading can be so simple. Before you're like, this looks like a nice little bear flag. And it does. My lie, for sure it does. This too. And I understood this one. And I was in the chat for this one. I specifically said, hey, I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't short this. I'm not telling y'all what to do. I'm not gonna let your advice, of course. But I said, hey, I wouldn't short this. Some people are like, hey, it's new leg down, this and this. And I understand. I'm not gonna say I understand why. It's good analysis. I see the bear flag for sure. But remember, look left. What's over here? A gap. Oh, what is that? NVIDIA? Love that. Love that for us, right? Boom, we took it out. Now we're chilling, right? If you're still in zeros, if you took zeros, you still trim whatever. If you took one, whatever you want to do, trim. But this is a good signal, right? It's a good sign. But yeah, back to what I was saying. Yeah, so you always want to look left. Remember, gap fill. And what did we do with this gap? We gapped up for not 3 days, for 2 days straight. We went up. So when we came down, consolidated, right? We didn't go lower. I understand. Yeah, bear flag. This is I see it. I see it. I see it. I'm not saying I don't see it. I see it, of course. But it's in regards, the context clues is what really applies. What is this? Resistance. How do we know? Bang, we sold. How do we know it's no longer resistance? Because we could not go lower and then we popped. So we come back into that same spot, not to mention a huge fucking gap we left, right? We filled the gap, double bottom, and then took off for 3 days straight. You know what I'm saying? So you always got to make sure you zoom out and looking for where you're going, because you don't want to be that person that just gets so caught up in the. Because remember, of course, you can use small time frames. I'm not saying you can't, of course, because you'll get a lot more precise entries, of course. Here, perfect example, right? If you did say, hey, double top, this was nice. You got the breakdown. This candle retested, closed red, right? You retested that and you continue lower, retest that, continue lower. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can use it, but you still have to make sure it's in confluence with whatever levels you're looking at, right? So I'm not gonna be like, 5 minute bear flag at hourly, daily support, weekly support. You know what I'm saying? It don't make no sense. All right. And then look, let's turn all this shit off. Turn all this shit off. No lines, no levels, no nothing. Look at the weekly. Where's the low of the week at? 731, right? 731. So if we came down to it after going higher, you know what I'm saying? Why would you just go short right here? It don't make no damn sense. Uh-oh. Ooh, spy. Holding this zone. All right. If we break this, then we're going to go long. If we break this, I am not financial advice. Not financial advice. But if we do break this, I'm going long. There we go. New high day on the video. Next week calls are up. That's good. On every fit. What the fuck is 10,000 to a million? 30 seconds left. Nice. So all we want to see, remember we got a little high right here. We just want to see it make a higher high. And then on whatever high or low it sets, right? Whether it be here, whether it retest here, whether it retest here, whatever high or low it sets, that's where we'll get confirmation as to pushing up and to go ahead and taking out that high day, right? Because if it doesn't, then it's just a lower high. Look, high, lower high, lower high, right? So we need to break that. We need to break that and be like, no more lower highs. We need higher highs. Yeah. So if we do get this, then I'm gonna get that. And then obviously we can look in the video, and the video is pretty bullish right now. Let's check VIX. Yeah, VIX is dumping. Dollars going down, right? So we have multiple reasons for why this you might get a little push. You might do something with this. Oh yeah, and we got an inverse hammer at support. Oh yeah, take this wick out, push next hour close. Oh, then we got 40 minutes. So yeah, oh damn, we got a bunch of time. We got a bunch of time for this shit. We got 15 minutes. Yeah, this looks good. So this is what I mean by, like, if you want to get a starter, you can start a position for either zeros or well, I wouldn't recommend zero starter just yet, but I would recommend, like, if you want to do starters, by time, right? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, next week. So that way, if we do, you just stay inside this range, right? You won't get cooked, just in case they want to just do this, right? So remember, reward is easy to realize. Everyone's like, oh, if we break this and go all time, I'll be up 500%, right? That's easy to say, oh, my reward is this, but you remember you have to put in the work, not put in the work. You have to put in your mental into the downside as well, or the opposite, right? If you're going short, then you have to make sure your mental knows, hey, where would this trade go wrong, right? Because that's what most people don't do. They only consider the right side of the trade. They only consider, oh, I want to go calls. If this baby, I'm gonna be up here, right? But they never consider what happens if it doesn't go your way, right? So you want to have that plan as well. Like, okay, well, I'll buy some ones. If we break and retest, then maybe I can get some zeros to close that 658, grab those, or wait, right? And if we don't, then hey, I'll just stop out, right? I'll stop out. And then if we do get another bounce later on, get back in. You know what I'm saying? Get back in. Relax. But yeah, power hour. They might bullshit this for the next 15 just because Robinhood closes everybody at 2:30. But either way it goes, this is either gonna be a nasty trap when we slice down here, or they're gonna squeeze it. But like I said, it's the monthly close today, so we definitely should get some good. We should get some good price action for sure. All right, yeah. So the only thing as of now, while we're waiting for this, only thing I'm swinging right now. Are you in any spy right now? No. I'm not yet, not yet. We're waiting for this right here. But as of now, I'm in Nvidia 230 for June 5th. So I did grab a starter on those. Like I said, remember we have multiple steps, right? We did get the pop, right? We need to close. right? So we did get the pop, so that's good. We made a new high day, right? Remember, we need that close for confirmation. We get that close. Remember, we need to close above this. If it does close below, you gotta wait a little longer. Not to say it's invalidated, but you just gotta wait a little longer, right? So you gotta wait a little longer for it to play out, which is fine, right? Because remember, you would rather size into a play, and then if it goes wrong, be like, oh, well, I only put in a quarter of a size I normally would, rather than being like, oh, we broke instantly, gotta get in, right? Because that's what a lot of people do. They chase certain moves. But remember, what are we doing today? Are we trending? Absolutely the fuck not. We're not trending. So we're still waiting, right? With that mindset of, hey, we need a breakout continuation or breakdown continuation, right? It's one of the two. And if we're not doing if we're not doing either, then we're diddling in the middle, right? You know how I say no diddle in the middle? We don't diddle in the middle, man. No diddle in the middle. So as of now, we ain't really broke out retest just yet, right? Because we need to close outside of this range first, right? And we've already identified the range for today. Is this, right? That's why we took those calls towards that lower level, right? We got that pop. Apple. I kind of want to swing XLM, but I'm gonna wait for that. Yeah, see, I'm gonna wait for that because remember, you want to wait for it to break first. Because look, just like all of this, it looks good and then it goes back down, right? It looks good and then it goes back down. It looks good and it goes back down. So you don't want to be that person that gets trapped trying to, because that's how a lot of people do. They'll be like, all right, I'm gonna buy here. We got a double bottom, and then it goes down, and they're like, "Oh, well, I'll add into the loss." And they're like, "Oh, well, I'll average down, average down," and then pretty soon you're just dumping your money on a fire. You know what I'm saying? You're giving your money away, and that's just not good. You don't want to be giving your money away, right, bro? There's a like a little tour bus, like a downtown Houston tour bus, and they be out here every other day. And I'd be like, damn, you know how hot it is out there? You know those big tour buses, you go to like major cities, you see a tour bus and it's like open at the top and there's people in there like this taking pictures and shit like that. I'm like, bro, it's way too hot for that. It's way too hot to be sitting on top of the bus. No shade cover either. Just I ain't doing that. Mm-mm. Bad whack. She come from Tennessee. Are you in any spy? No. Can you check Intel calls for next week? I got you. What's Intel? INTC? INTC. Ooh, we got a range. We love a range. Remember, consolidation leads to expansion, whether it be expansion to the downside or it be expansion to the upside. We don't know. I just want a ball, right? Just ranging right now. But for INTC, we're pretty much in the middle. You know how I feel about dealing in the middle. So I wouldn't necessarily be okay with Intel just yet. I would want to see a move. But remember, like I said, those stocks where we're at all-time highs, you got to be a little careful. You know what I'm saying? You got to be a lot of careful, honestly, because you just don't want to get, you fuck around, be buying the top and not even know it. You know what I'm saying? You never know when it's at all-time highs. So that's why I said I'd rather put my money in Nvidia, Microsoft, Meta, something that's kind of a little lagger. It's not at all-time highs, not even close, to be honest. I think Microsoft is down like 13% year to date or some shit like that. I don't know what it is now, but last time I looked at it, it was. But yeah, Intel, you would want to either see it come down here and sweep, and then you can do a starter down here, and then hope it recovers. Because if you do a starter, remember, you want to take the best trades at the best levels, right? And is the middle the best level? Not really, because it can chop in here, or you can go up here and then come down, right? Or you can come down here. You know what I'm saying? It's too many variables when you're playing in that middle. It can go up, down, side, you know what I'm saying? So you would rather wait for major. You would rather wait for major support, right? This is major support. And then, as we know, of course, right now, you got some major resistance. So in between, oh, look, another thing too. Let's see if this is measured. Bang, look at that. Remember, if you were on I think it was last week's live, I'm not remember. Last week's or the week before, where I explained on how to identify ranges and how to measure your range, how to get a target for your range. So whenever you identify ranges, right? We've only got a range. Let's say this range here. We broke down from here, right? And then we came right back into the range. If we were to break out this same measured move, because remember, this is all controlled by algorithms, zeros, dollars, ones and zeros, all that extra shit. If this were to break back out and retest, your first target would be right here in the middle. right? Main target, and then look how it adds up, right? All time high. So you can still do measure moves when it comes to ranges, and you can do the same thing with spy. Let's do spy. I actually still want spy calls, honestly. Let's check SPX real quick first. You know, we level 0DT end of day SPX. Yeah, this looks good. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, this looks so good. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we can get a close above this. Maybe we can push towards the end of day. But like I said, we're still in that weird, you know what I'm saying, range. But this does look this looks very good, right? You know, I know I love playing SPX in that last like 10, 15 of the day. But you got a nice little flag in here too, I ain't gonna lie. So if this breaks, retest, honestly, we'll get a continuation. It'll be good to go. There we go. Look, buy zone. So you can buy time, right? You can buy time on spy calls, buy Monday calls or whatever, you know, 760, you know, whatever you want to do. Or we can load up on some, what are these? What? Where we at? 756. Where's 758 at? 758 would be a higher day. Then that's pretty much a risk. So maybe we can do one more strike. Let's see. 757s are $40, right? Remember, we need this level to break. How much time we got? 5 minutes. Yeah. So this level breaks. We can add in, right? Remember, you can start a small position of one DTs, you know, because like I said, we have time, or even not even ones. Shit, next Friday if you want to, right? But we need this to break first for confirmation. If it doesn't break, then you'll get one of these, one of these, one of these, right? And it'll just go lower. So you don't want to be that person. Remember, it's so funny. I was telling somebody today, I said, you probably just need that person in your ear telling you to hold on. Because that's honestly what we all need. We all just need, you know, some sort of confirmation. And if I can be that for y'all, I love that, you know? If I can be that person telling y'all to hold off, wait a second, right? Because a lot of times, like I said, we're human, you know, we're all human. So we'll naturally, you know, it's natural. Even when it took me forever to stop looking at the 1 and the 5. Like I would try to stay on the higher time frames, but then I'd be like, I just gotta see what it's doing. You know, when I would zoom in and then, you know, 5 out of 10 times it would do me so bad. And I'd be like, oh fuck. Oh, I'm cooked. Right. I'd be like, oh, let's say I bought calls here and I'm like, oh, I'm over here, I'm gonna sell, I'm gonna get out, you know, and then I just get out because we saw red. So I understand, you know, we all need that voice in the back of our ear, in the back of our head, being like, hey, shh, be patient. Wait. You know. So if I can be that for y'all, I love that. Zoom out. We got 3 minutes left. So like I said, this is good, but remember, this is a hold on. This is a high. It's a high. It's a high. Lower high. Lower high. Lower high. As of now. So what we need is a bang at some point. Higher high. Right? And then we would need a higher low. We got a low. We got a low. We got a low, right? So we are making lower highs, but we're also making, I mean, my fault. We are making higher lows, but we're also making lower highs. So all that's saying is, hey, we're in a very tight range. So like I said, consolidation leads to expansion. So if we're going to expand to the upside, it's going to be a very quick, easy move, pop over that 756.80. We'll probably clear 757. And then, you know, if they want to give us a nice bullish monthly close, it's going to have a crazy squeeze, right? But remember, if not, you have to know the other side of it. If it's not gonna go, then it's just gonna stay inside this range, right? And it's gonna come back down and stay inside this channel. But as of now, like I said, we look left, low resistance, right? Low resistance, low resistance, bang, pop overnight. Higher highs, holding support, pop out, retest, higher low, right? If they want to push like we are now, you know, it's okay. You can always add in, right? Small position of calls. Did you see Meta? I did not. Hold on. Because if Meta starts pushing, you know, Spy gonna push too. And like I said, I'm in some starter for Spies, but I'm not in anything crazy. Um, how long we got? 2 minutes. All right, 2 minutes on Meta. Previous day's low. We get that close back over previous day's low. You might get a nice move. We got 30 minutes left in the day. But remember, you don't want to get trapped in this range, right? You don't want to get trapped in that. So break out. That's good. We need this close. We got 2 minutes left, right? We need that close. If you can get that close, next candle probably consolidate. And like I said, it's once it gets to 2:30, you know how they do. They always wait till 2:30 to do the real move, cook all the Robinhood people. everybody who's waiting getting fucking cooked, you know. But you buy time, be cool, be cool, relax, right? Relax, relax. I'm always gonna tell you to buy time. I'm always gonna tell you about time. But of course, y'all know I love a good end of day scalp. I mean, it's Fridays already too, so it's always gonna be a little fun. Let's go back. Oh, let's go. I was about to say let's go back over to SPY. All right, that's step 2. We're getting this breakout. Right? Remember, we already got a position, we got a starter. And if we get the close, we can add on the retest, right? See how much we're up. All right, we got 757s. We're up 23%. These go in the money. I gotta take it. I gotta take it. They went from out of the money to in the money real quick. Where's 757? Oh, damn, we're already at the money. Yeah, trim. You can trim these. Like I said, remember, take your 1DT, roll it, take the profit, like we do it in the video. Took that 125%, rolled it by some time. Because remember, you're never truly gonna miss the move if you get it, right? So I mean, yeah, you might miss 0DTs going 100%, but you'll still be able to hold the play longer. Let's say we gap up over the weekend, peace tree, or whatever the case may be. Or if you just want to hold 10 today, right? You still can sell. You don't gotta buy 1 DTE just to sell it next week. You know, you can buy 1 DTE and still sell it the same day. You know, it's up to you. It's your money, but you still want to be safe with it, especially if you're not green on the day. If you're not green on the day, you shouldn't be still trying to catch some zeros. You know, you have to learn when to when to stop. You got to learn when to say no. You got to learn when to be like, I'm not doing that. Come on, you know. Instead, you telling me, yeah, this looks good. Like I said, remember, close. There we go. 30%. All right, I'm taking some more. All right, and I'll probably leave these runners, just because I said, you know, these runners. But what I'm gonna do is, like I said, take that profit and roll it. So I'll look at Mondays, maybe 760s, or yeah, anywhere between 760 and 762 ish, right? So I already took 30%, and mind you, this is only if you already are up and you want to take that, take that roll, right? You don't have to automatically go to next week, but this is just because you already caught the break, right? Because remember, we still can do this, right? So to avoid myself going from green to red, I'm gonna take the 30% here and then roll it, because like I said, if we go up, plan's still good. And that's according to plan. But the thing is, like I said, like I keep repeating, people just don't often think about shit not going according to plan. That's why when shit don't go according to plan, people don't know what the hell to do. You know what I'm saying? Can you tell us when the retest is and when you buying the retest? Yeah, so this technically would be the retest candle right here. Remember, because we only got 29 minutes left in the day. So the volatility is starting to pick up. So when volatility starts to pick up, the moves, and it might happen faster, it might be a little scary, but it's just going, oh, hold on. Y'all can't even see the numbers, can you? Can y'all see these numbers? Let me move. My fault. I'm sorry. I can't even see. My fault, y'all. I can't even realize y'all can see. There we go. 270. These are in the money. Yeah. So this is what I mean. Like, yes, you can add, you can roll. You know what I'm saying? You can treat this however you want by by time, because it's the end of the month. So end of the month squeezes can be very crazy, right? We can go to hive day. So if you don't want to risk zeros, or if, like I said, if you're not green on the day, you buy time. Buy the ones. Give yourself some time. You don't even gotta buy one. Shit, buy next week, buy next month, whatever you want to do. It's your account. But just buy time if you're not, if you haven't been trading for a long time and you're not comfortable with the emotions that this shit brings, you always want to give yourself more time. Because like I said, I can give people entries and exits, exact price, all that shit. But it's like if they're not used to the way that contracts move, they're not used to the way zero move, they're not used to, all this shit, it'll still fuck them up mentally, because they're like, I went from 50 to 20 and I sold, you know what I'm saying? So it's like you got to build that confidence, right? This isn't something that came overnight. It's not something that you're just going to magically get, but it's something that I hope I can beat into your head. You know what I'm saying? You can take the profit, roll, right? Roll, buy some time. But yes, I'm in these calls now still. This is good. And this is good for our whatchamacallits too. 53%. All right, yeah, I'm gonna trim here. Remember, because we don't want to go, you don't want to just hold and hope too crazy, right? Look left. Where do we get a little rejections at? Rejection, 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 right? So we can still reject here, right? And we probably might, even if we do, we'll pull back, right? It's not always guaranteed that we just fly. We hope, obviously, we hope we just fly, but it's not always guaranteed, right? So you want to make sure that you're trimming at the levels, taking that profit, right? 50%. Boom, you can't beat that. That's gorgeous play. Fuck. I didn't realize that shit was that loud. Y'all say cheese. Shit. I let my girl use touch my phone. You know how girls touch phones and the instant gets greasy? How the fuck does that happen? All right, yeah, remember, trim into this, trim into this. So zeros, I'm taking zeros off the table here. Feel what I'm saying? I understand you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah. 55%, 60%, 65%. All right. And now, like I said, I'm trimming into this move. Lotion. Lotion? What do I mean? Is that a ticker? There we go. You know, weed hands. Just 80%. Let's go, baby. All right, I'm gonna trim most into this, right? Like I said, you can leave zero DT runners, of course you can, but I don't want to be that person. God damn, loud as hell. Yeah, see, perfect example. Trim into this because why? You had initial sales here, and this is why it's okay to buy time, because if you bought time, this little pullback's not affecting you. But if you didn't buy time, right? We already sold. But if you didn't buy time and you're still in zeros, I mean, like I said, obviously this shit can squeeze the all-time high day again, right? We don't know, but you just want to protect your gains, protect your capital. You know what I'm saying? Lotion, greasy. Oh, yeah. No, facts. Yeah. My girl be like, let's take a picture real quick. Touch the phone. I get it back. I'm like, why the hell the camera's so blurry? All that body oil and shit. Everybody's still chilling. Apple's finally about to get that break. All right, let's get that push. Like I said, we're still in. We still got time, right? And personally, I bought both strikes. Like I said, either way it comes to playing it, you can do however you want, right? If you want to buy, like I knew this guy when I first started trading, he would buy a stack, like he would stack his contracts. So he would buy, let's say we bought in here, he would buy 755s, 756s, and 57s. And he would just roll like that. Like I said, you could play however you want to play as long as you are taking profit. You know what I'm saying? So when they would go in the money, he would trim them, take profits like that. But you see how shit's still going. And all we had to do was wait for this. Damn, we should have did SPX. Not even gonna lie. Especially the PlayStation controller. No cap, bro. That's how it is with siblings. I got all sisters, all little sisters. Man, bro, I'd be like, "Are you serious?" They'll be like, "We just wanted to play the game." Get my controller back. It's all greasy. I'm like, "Bro, come on." There we go, Spy. There we go, baby. My roll is up 20%. Nvidia's back green as well. Remember, trim into this, trim into this, trim into this. Obviously, we wanted to just break and keep going, but we don't know the future. It's not our job to guess the future. We are reaction traders, right? We trade reactions. We saw that it was major support down here. We saw the reaction to the support, retest, and we got in, right? So those 25%. My fault. I be forgetting that should be loud as hell. Yeah, see? Because remember, whatever he did the first time, initially it's gonna do the same thing. Not to say that it's gonna just not, continue and just reverse blah 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 blah. But initially, right? And because we had zeros, zeros move pretty fast. So initially we want to trim into this, right? Because like I said, even if it just goes, that's fine. That's why we bought time on other ones. But your zeros, this little move here, because we only got 20 minutes left in the day, even if it comes down here, that 100% will be 60. You know what I'm saying? Like just like that. So you don't want to just risk that. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to. First step, remember, we do it in steps. Step one, we broke out. Oh, terrible drawing, my fault. Step one, look left. Where do we break out of? In between this zone. So now what? Step two, any pullback into this that holds and breaks this, we can continue up, right? If not, oh, I moved the line, right? If not, and we just smack back down, look left, right? We're still in this range. So you have to assume that's just not ready to go yet, right? Anything that holds, good. Anything that does not hold, be patient, right? Not to say it's not good, because remember, what did I say we needed? We got a higher low, lower high. Boom, this could just be a higher high, right? They could set a higher high here, bullshit, maybe last whatever, and then just send that shit to higher day. Which is what I mean. I hope we go higher day. That'd be pretty fun. Because I still got some lottos, some 758s. I got 758 0 DTs lottos. There we go. Pluto. Right. Remember what I said too. Like when it comes to closer to end of day, of course I'll zoom in because we don't have that much time. We don't get that much runway. For me. I had eyes, but then nice. Trimming some more. 40% on that second roll. President want to say Apple still getting that nice push. Nvidia still looking amazing. Right. Remember we bought time on these Nvidia, so we got next week Nvidia calls. Actually, I'm still amazing. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. All right, this is good. Consolidation over. Right. Remember, whenever you get a nice move, you never want to see it just immediately sell up. Right. You want to see a nice move and then consolidation. Right. Holding. top of the charts, back of their hearts. He strikes again. Yeah, we should have did that SPX. I ain't gonna lie. That shit was gorgeous. Let's see. Oh, oh, yeah. Only reason I didn't do SPX is because I like doing SPX like that last 10 minutes. Them contracts be like $50, $100. You'll turn $100 into 500 quickly, minutes. I had all ice, but then I just think us, man. Oh, my back. Oh, I can't wait till this is over. I'm gonna relax, rest. I wasn't even gonna go live until I seen that pump, and I was like, yeah, I gotta come on here. I gotta come help the gang, man. Oh, see, look, it's perfect how we talk about that flag. Boom, got that push. All right. Remember, like I said, you always want to look left. Sell into the move, and that's why you buy time. You don't want to be that person that buys the top. What up? What's poppin', twin twin? But I guess you know now. I don't even know where I'm at. Remember, reclaim is just a pullback, right? Anything that holds in the zone, right? And so you have really all this space to pull back in. Actually, it's fine. Okay, we got 15 minutes. This is the last candle of the month. If Trump want to give us that, make it close on same hand, then we'll probably get that pump, right? We'll probably get that pump right into these highs. Not to say that we get high day, I don't know, but if we want to continue a nice strong close, we're gonna let's look at the daily. Gap fill reversal. Friend is friend, remember? It's been a crazy rally. And I hope I have helped y'all make at least a little money during this rally. But they on their face right now. Wayne. Look at that. See how we played level to level, bro? It's crazy. See how we play level to level? And look where it's holding up at, right? We already have our levels. That's all you gotta do, man. That's literally it. That's literally all you gotta do. You play it level to level. You know what I'm saying? Ah. You don't even need this. Bang. Remember, we set a higher high. So what do we need after a higher high? Some sort of higher low. So if they want to give it to us quick, they'll give it to us quick. If they don't want to give it to us, right, and they want to just sweep it and be like, hey, it's just a sweep, you'll get the same exact move over here. You'll get that same shit over here, right? And it'll mirror. It'll be the exact same. You'll break down. and flush back below. But if not, if this is a SR flip, basically just a support resistance flip. So SR flip, let's say vice versa. Let's say this was resistance, or let's say this was support at one time, right? We bouncing. SR flip is just where it flips from support to resistance or from resistance to support. So it's just a matter of either or, bullish or bearish. It doesn't matter. It's the same thing. But yeah, that's what I mean when I say SR flip. So yeah, if this is SR flip, if it's flipping, then like I said, you see how it's starting to hold now? It's looking pretty good, right? How many minutes we got left? We got 10 minutes left, right? If they want to go ahead and push this shit, cat hair. Volatility is good. So volatility will give us a nice little push if it's true. Right? If it's true, bang, bang, take out the high day. All of my stay there. And this is why we said it's cool to buy time, right? Because if you bought time down here, then you're not necessarily worried about these pullbacks. The zeros is why I'm like, hey, sell those zeros, trim those zeros. Because if you're in zeros, then that shit's probably down as hell, right? But you buy time, you got this whole move, a little pullback, right? You have enough time to decide, I'll take profit here, right? Trim some more. And then if you start to go here, you can stop out before, profit stop. I'm saying. But if you're in zero DTs, one candle will take you from 100% back to nada. Oh, let's see. Let's do SPX now. All right, let's see if we can get something. All right. Oh shit! Hold on. I just got stopped out. I just got a sell order. Oh shit! See, already roll. Got stopped out. Who cares? Move to the next play. All right, that means this will probably drag this down. Let's see if SPX. My head. Don't. All right, we got 10 minutes left. See if they give us a push. All right, let's see what NVIDIA's doing real quick. Oh yeah, so NVIDIA stopped us out on the rolls. See what SPY does. If it holds this or if it rejects, it's gonna come down here. Hey, SPX. That's why you gotta love it. That's why you gotta love SPX, man. All right, I'm taking that. Oh, I'm taking that. 82%. I'm taking that. All right, I took it. Took it, left the runner. That's why I love SPX in the day. This shit's just gorgeous, man. This shit's just so much fun. That was a 1 minute trade, mind you. In and out. You recognize trend changes, right? You know where the pullbacks lie. You know that this could just be, liquidity. It could just be a little sweep. Remember, because we don't know. As of now, all we know is resistance, right? And then look, boom. See, nice little breakout. Where did we break out from? Over here. So nice little scalp. NVIDIA pulled back. That was the first sign. Then we started to go lower. Cool. I'll take a little scalp. And this is why I wait till end of day to do SPX. Just smack that shit. That was nice. I'm not gonna lie. That was gorgeous. That shit low key might go in the money though. These right here. This might go in the money. Hold on. Let's see if we can catch another one. Let's see what they got on the options chain. Remember, this is end of month. So if they want to get us a quick little wham bam, thank you, ma'am, that shit might fucking go crazy. One of my cribs like 3.5. All right. It starts holding. Best bet. Let's see how much some lotto calls are. Hold on. Don't go crazy. Hold on. Wait 1 second. Wait. Let's see how much. What strike is this? Where's 95 at? Oh, that's up here. Nah. That's too high. 80. Damn, if those 80s go in the money, I'm gonna be sick. Oh, I sold for 80%. No, don't do it. Oh man. Sold too early. Ah, damn, I sold too early. You got to though. It's like I said, it's end of day, man. It's SPX. That's how that shit goes. It's like minus 80. So first. Damn. Yeah, I sold way too early. What did I even buy for? I think I bought for like $50 or some shit. Yeah, they're the best. They're on right now. So I guess I didn't really miss too much. I sold for 80%. Yeah, it's just fun. It's fun to always trade in them day. Oh, well, we're getting close to the end. Your boy's tired. Been traveling, caught some bangers. Nice little. What do we do today? What did we catch? We caught Microsoft. We caught Nvidia. Caught Spy. What's wrong, baby? Oh no. Caught Spy. Caught Nvidia. We caught all that shit. You know, it'd be crazy if they just send this shit to higher day. That would be absolutely bonkers. Yeah, I don't know what this was. This had to be a news candle, but stopped out. Don't matter. And then look, it probably just comes down here or sets a higher floor here. So either sets here and goes, sets here and goes. Either way, doesn't matter. 5 minutes left. What is this? 7587. 5 minutes. Trying to see if this wants to hold or he wants to dump. Damn, yeah, that shit's going in the money. No. Oh man. I mean, those puts are still only $80. Should I double dip for a 1 minute play? Should we double dip in the 7580s for a 1 minute play? What's wrong, mama? What happened? Whew. That was nice. Straight off the plane and got right to work, planning our next vacation as we speak. My girlfriend says she's planning our next vacation. How often do you do the live trading? Honestly, it's really no set. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to build the audience big enough first. Like, once we get enough subscribers and, likes, comments, all that shit. Once I start seeing that people really want, me to go live, like on different days and shit like that. I know this is gonna go on the money. I'm still sick about this. But once we kind of build a bigger audience and then just we kind of go from there, it really just depends on how it's looking. You know what I'm saying? It's not really a one size fits all. It's just like I might go live today. If I see some good shit, I'll go live. You know what I'm saying? Or if I see like a if I see like a trap, or if I see something that'll catch most people off guard, like, you know what I'm saying? I don't want y'all to lose bread. So if I see something like, hey, when we major alert, then I'll go live. But there's really no method to it. You just gotta subscribe, turn the alert notifications on, and then we'll go from there. So we'll go from there. They're planning our vacation, planning the next vacation as we speak. Yeah. But yeah, that's cool, man. We'll probably close it here. 2 minutes left. Ain't nothing probably gonna happen. Close it right back in the middle, same level we opened at. So yeah, man, that'll be it. We'll close it here. Caught some nice bangers, man. 100% to the upside. Caught Nvidia for 125% to the upside. SPX down to the downside, 80%. So yeah, man, beautiful day. And I'll see y'all, man. I'll see y'all whenever. And like I said, I always do the Monday videos on Sunday night, so that way we can see the what's it called? We can see pre-market and see kind of where we open up at. So I'll do that. Look out for that on Sunday. But remember, zoom out. Even though this may be a monthly close, what are we doing as of right now? Right? What are we doing as of right now? Breakout. As of right now, this is a retest, right? So just be careful, right? You don't want to just be aggressively too short because they can still gap it up over the weekend, Trump news, or like I said, it can be a trap and they can trap us down to the downside. So as of now, remember we got a breakout, but we're at a weird spot. So if you want to swing light or buy time, right? If you don't want to swing, obviously, cash is the best position. You don't got to stress about going to the weekend. Yeah, man, and that'll be it. So yeah, I'll see y'all. I hope y'all have some fun today. Hope we caught some bangers, man. I hope y'all caught some bread with us. And yeah, we'll see y'all. I don't know who I mean.